basketball and the GOAT conversation. We want to thank everybody for joining us on the Facebook and on the YouTube. You guys know we come with it every Sunday, and we got a great show for you again this week as we will be talking about the criteria. It's basically a part two from last week. So we're going to definitely have a great conversation, and we're going to actually give the panel the Michael Jordan delegates a chance to speak on Michael Jordan and why he's the GOAT of basketball. So we are here. We have a few folks here. We have Anthony, Mr. Wilson, who's been a part of the GOAT James Kingdom crew from the beginning. We also got Ralph, the MJ delegate, and we have Devontae, who just showed up. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Appreciate you.
Good morning, man.
Thanks for joining us. So you saying it's good morning. That means you're not on the East Coast. But either way, we come live like we always do. And we are here again, gentlemen. So y'all say hi to everybody on this special holiday weekend. It is MLK's birthday, y'all. And tomorrow's MLK Day. So make sure you celebrate the holiday and enjoy it. Y'all say peace to everybody that's watching.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, we good.
So what it do? How everybody doing?
All right.
All right, so we got some ground rules here, Devontae. You're new to the show. Since you showed up last, you're going to be able to speak, but you'll be able to speak after Ralph and Anthony get their chance. And obviously, Brandon and I are going to step back today. Today, everybody has their chance to speak and talk about their GOAT criteria. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about the NBA and what's going on in today's NBA. So if we can bring up today's standings, you guys can see what's going on in today's NBA. There's a lot of different things going on. There's a few injuries that we need to be talked about as far as Kevin Durant just got hurt recently. He's going to be out for an entire month. He's going to miss 4 weeks because he has a knee sprain, an MCL sprain. What's called Jaylen Brown also is being reevaluated. He's missed a few games with an abduct strain, so we have him out, and we have some other folks that are out on the West Coast as well. I believe Paul George has a hamstring injury. That's also a recent injury going on. But we know that the NBA is very there's a lot of parity. You know what I'm saying? And this week's standings is a little bit different from last week's standings. We still have Denver and Boston on top, but we got the Nets and Milwaukee, who's been slipping because obviously Milwaukee has been losing Giannis for a couple of games. KD's obviously hurt for the last couple of games, but Memphis is coming up. Memphis has the same record as Denver. We'll get the graphs up as Brandon's setting up everything. But y'all let me know what y'all think about what's going on in the NBA this past week because things have changed. The Knicks are looking good, Ralph. What's up with you?
Oh yeah, we looking right. We got to play today.
You guys got a game today?
I got Jalen Brunson and your boy on my fantasy team. They're doing pretty solid for me.
Are you talking about Randall?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson been balling.
Yeah.
Yes, Jalen Brunson has been balling. My Heat is actually looking good too, even with all the injuries that's been going on. We've been winning some games. The East is looking like how the East always look. The West is a little bit tougher. The Stephen Curry's come back, so we're going to see if the Warriors can get on a little run. Devontae, you're new to the show. Peace, Craig. I see you just joined. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Hey, what's up? I'm back.
What's good? So Devontae, introduce yourself to the panel and introduce yourself to the fans, man. What's good, brother? Let us know what's up.
Hey, everybody. My name is Devontae Simmons. I am an AAU coach with the East Orange All-Stars here in East Orange, New Jersey. And I'm here just to join the conversation and give my respects to everybody here. Much love, and let's make it happen.
I appreciate that. What up, Craig? Say what's up to everybody. Craig, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
You prepared today? Because we expecting you. You prepared?
Oh yeah. I'm just getting a little things set up right now for it.
All right. So Ralph is going first anyway, so you go ahead and get yourself set up.
Okay. So all right. So you wouldn't be able to bring up the graph for the standings, Brandon?
I don't even think I added those for the standings.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That's all right. But anyways, we'll get ready to the show because we actually gonna go a little bit longer than an hour today. We prepared ourselves. We told the gentlemen to bring their criteria. They're going to bring us their GOAT criteria. They're going to explain to the world why Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time based off of that criteria. And we're going to give everybody 10 minutes to give their criteria out. So Ralph's going to go first, then Craig's going to go second, and then we're going to let Anthony go afterwards. But how it works is after they give their criteria, They're going to give us 5 minutes to rebuttal anything that we have any issues with or whatever we agree with. And then we're going to give them a chance to respond to that afterwards. And then we'll let the other people go with their criteria. And we'll do that so on and so forth. You guys are cool with that?
Yeah.
We all understand it. All right. So now, as far as the rebuttal go, it'll go in as far as how we got the people that go into the show. So Ralph goes first, Anthony, then we have Devontae, and then we have Craig. Brandon and I will go last, and we'll be respectable. And we'll let everybody speak. We do that. We do a great job of that here in Go James Kingdom. Even I will behave this week, y'all. I will sit back and will let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. So Ralph, the floor is yours. Go ahead and represent Michael Jordan like no one can.
All right. So when I say the GOAT is the greatest of all time, who's the better player? And I started off with my graph with the major accolades, and
Let's see which one that is. All right. Is it this one? Yep.
Yeah. So when I look at the major accolades, championship, season MVPs, final MVPs, All-Star MVP, all NBA total selections, all defensive total selections, defensive player of the year, scoring titles, rebound titles, assist titles, steals titles, and block titles. And I know there's other players that wasn't privy to it, to where if we can take like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, they wasn't privy to the defensive player of the year and steal title and block title. But even if you alleviate that, this still will prove that Jordan is the GOAT. But with this graph right here, I tallied it up to where you have MJ has 7 total compared to LeBron, he has 2. So the next thing I go to stats, I did average per 36 because that puts everybody on the same playing field, because you got like Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain played 40 minutes a game and 48.5. So I did the per 36 to have everybody on the same minutes. And when you look at that, Jordan was at 5, LeBron was at 4. So I went to the totals. I measured that at the same amount of games. You can do that with anybody, and Jordan still is above anybody if you compare them that's in the GOAT debate. So right here you see Jordan has 5 and LeBron has 2. So my next one is playoff averages. Once again, that's per 36. That's totals. You gotta go to
You did the per 36.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I did the per 36 for the averages.
Okay.
And it's very similar with the per well, as far as the averages in the playoffs, per 36 is actually tied. It was 4 and 4.
This is per 36. This is not.
Yes, this is per 36 as well.
Okay.
It's like whatever I did for the season, I also did it for the playoffs as well.
Okay.
So like the playoff totals is the same amount of games as well.
All right.
What them playoff totals at? There we go.
All right. So as you see, the amount of games, it's Jordan was at 4 and LeBron was at 2. Measuring that the same amount of games in the playoffs. And the advanced stats regular season. All right. So what we have here, once again, it's tied. I did, you see PER, win shares per 48, offensive win shares, defensive win shares, true shooting, offensive box, pretty much, the basics that everybody knows that, and they were tied at 5 and 5. So I also did let's go here, the playoffs advanced stats as well. Now this one, LeBron actually had 6 and Jordan had 4 when you do the playoffs advances. So when I tallied all of them, whoever won that category, I put it all together in the totals right here to where, major accolades, of average per 36, totals, equal amount of games, playoff average per 36. All of those graphs that you've seen, the tally was MJ had 33 and LeBron had 25. So that's how I critiqued right here.
Okay. That's a good thing, bro. I like how you did it. So Anthony, you got the floor. Give him a quick, response to what you see here as far as what Ralph put together for his GOAT criteria and why Michael Jordan's the best.
Okay, well, first, what I seen stuck out the most is he was comparing games as far as how many each of them played, as far as same amount. I mean, that's cool, but the thing is, if we're talking about impact, if outside of Jordan winning, when he didn't have great teams, he wasn't winning. Now, the individual accolades, I mean, and that's all fine and dandy, but one can also argue in the 90s, folks was just giving him awards too. But if you go into VORP, which basically, I guess that's a stat that I guess how does your team fare without you? And I think LeBron is number 1 in that category. And due to the fact that basketball is a team sport, you have to take that into consideration. Now, like I said, with Jordan, it was, and plus not only that, but when you look back when Jordan played, as the 90s progressed, the numbers per game, the points per game went down. So I would see folks also speak about the fact Jordan may have had players that didn't average 20 points per game and they could still win titles. But the Bulls weren't all about trying to outscore you. They had a team full of defenders. So Jordan could be the guy that didn't have to defend. All he had to do was just go out and score. So, not saying that there weren't times that he could defend. I'm not saying he couldn't defend. But just like if we just go on by numbers alone, I think numbers can be deceiving because both players played in totally different eras. I feel like Jordan's era catered more to guards, and there were rule changes that helped guards benefit more to be a little more dominant. Versus when LeBron came into the league, the defense was you had more defensive depth. You can not only play man, but you can play zone. I just think.
Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying, Anthony, but that was more or less like basically you talking about more or less your criteria. We was trying to see what what you said about what you think about his criteria. But we'll let you respond.
I think it's numbers based alone. That I think numbers that are numbers and all don't really tell the story.
No, I got what you're saying, but I mean, you brought up some good points. But Devontae, it's your floor. Do you have any issues with this criteria? Are you a Jordan advocate, or you have someone else as you go?
Well, I'm a Wilt Chamberlain guy. I got Wilt Chamberlain as my GOAT. And
you can come anytime. Now that you done said that, you are welcome anytime, my friend. Go ahead.
And I got Wilt Chamberlain as my GOAT.
Okay.
But my criteria for GOAT is, what did you actually do? What did you do? When you played. I think a lot of Jordan fans don't. They look at the game as a marketing campaign, something like the guys before Jordan really didn't have.
Very true.
But I think it goes on individual stats and also team accomplishments, but the team accomplishments shouldn't be held over individual stats because you could be a great player on a subpar team and never win anything. Like, for example, like Jim Brown. Jim Brown played during the age of the Green Bay Packers. He's the best player in the league playing against the best team. So that's my take on it as of right now. But I'm open to discussion.
Do you have any issues, or do you have anything that you would agree with as far as the way Ralph created his criteria? So that, because that's what it was. This is his criteria, and this is why he has Michael Jordan as the GOAT. Is there anything about his criteria you want to critique, or are you comfortable with how he did it?
Well, I'm comfortable how he did it, but for me, I don't go into like advanced stats. It's just straightforward. What did you average? How many points you did? What did you rebound? We could make anybody great if you look into it farther enough. But just I look at the 5 basic stats: rebounding, scoring, blocks, steals, and assists. And of course, as we know, me being a Wilt Chamberlain guy, he wasn't afforded the blocks and the steals. So that's how I look at it.
All right, so before
would have been out of this world.
Yeah, but before we let Craig go in, I want to ask you something, Devontae. How many blocks per game and steals per game do you think Wilt Chamberlain actually did average? It's just off a hypothetical theory, just what you think.
I think he made an average between 7 and 8 blocks a game, and maybe 3 to 4 steals a game.
Ooh, you the man. All right, Craig, it's your chance to speak. You're an MJ delegate. What do you think about your boy and how he created his criteria for Michael Jordan and the GOAT conversation?
I mean, I think it was based on what he said. It's just based on numbers and what they actually did on the court. I mean, it's like I said, I always say that it's his criteria, so it's somewhat it's opinionated. So I can't say his opinion is right or wrong. It's his opinion. Just like everybody has their opinion of who their GOAT is. Everybody's not going to say the same person. That's true. But you like the way he did it, though, right? Make Michael Jordan look real good, didn't it? I mean, he was. you the same way he can make Jordan look good. There's the same way someone can make LeBron looks good. That's why I said it's opinionated. Every good post about Jordan, you're gonna see a good post about LeBron.
Okay, don't worry, because later on I'm going to show you how good LeBron is. All right. So Ralph, the panel spoke, right? But Brandon wants to go ahead. So Brandon, what do you think about what Ralph's criteria was put?
It was good. The only thing that I don't agree with is limiting LeBron to what Jordan played. Like, you can't have a GOAT criteria if you're just going to base it off of Michael Jordan. You have to take everyone's career into the same totality. So everything was fine. The accomplishments, Jordan will have more because in the era he played in, he was clearly the best player in that era. Like, it wasn't even a question. So he's always going to have the most awards in the 90s in his era, because that's the era he played in. He didn't play in the 2000s and 2010s and right now. So it's going to gravitate towards Michael Jordan. The averages is always going to gravitate towards Jordan because he played less games and he didn't play versus the same competition as LeBron. So just like with the titles, he never won a title in 2010 to 2020. He won the titles in the 90s, and LeBron didn't play in the 90s. Wilt Chamberlain didn't play in the 90s. So, of course, Michael Jordan's going to have more titles than them because they played in different eras. Other than that, it's good. Most people have Michael Jordan as the greatest, and it's based off of what this is. And no argument with me. I just don't agree. But that's just how it is.
Okay, and I'm on board with you. Actually, Ralph, you did a great job. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we all know Michael Jordan's career is incredible. We've always stated this here in Go James Kingdom. Michael Jordan has an illustrious career. He has a longevity career. So my problem is obviously, yes, you lowered it. We have to, like I always say with Jordan fans, this is the subjective part of your whole thing, because you was really objective through everything. You use stats. Twin Man just said here, how much y'all want to bet that one of the Jordan fans are going to bring up Killer Instincts, and you didn't bring up no subjective manner of any kind. You brought up all stats and things that can be measured with the accolades and the achievements of a player. But again, you made it subjective to the point where we had to measure it by Michael Jordan. Everything was measured by what Michael Jordan did. Quick example, the accolades, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem will beat him there. If we go
no.
Yes, they will.
I've already done it. No.
Listen, if I've done it, I've already done it.
With this criteria, no.
Yeah, with that same criteria, with everything that you listed, with
Mm-mm.
everything that you've listed, Michael Jordan does not have more than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He did, and Kareem Abdul. Because remember, Wilt Chamberlain has 19 seasonal titles. He has 19 of them. All right. So you guys
No,
really
I'm
stood.
saying if you go with the criteria that I have, no,
Mhm.
they don't.
Okay. So the floor is yours. Your rebuttal is available. Go ahead, brother. Let us know why we were tripping and you were right.
All right. See, the reason, when you're saying the greatest player,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't discredit longevity. No, longevity is part of the game to where if you play longer at a high level, oh, you get the praises. But when you comparing of who is better,
Mm-hmm.
I especially with stats,
Mm-hmm.
you have to put them on the same playing field to see who did it better in those categories. That's why I did it the way I did it.
But you did the playing field based on Jordan. Why is the playing field Jordan?
No, it could be anybody. Like
No,
Will
because
Chamberlain.
if we go to 1,500 games, is it going to
Well,
be the same for Jordan?
you can't do that because he didn't play that many.
So it's based on Jordan.
So it's based on
No, no.
Jordan.
You could, like, if you say, for instance,
So
Will Chamberlain, he
mm-hmm,
played 1,045 games less than Jordan. You
mm-hmm,
drop his games down, he
mm-hmm.
still beats him in that criteria. I've done it.
You have to show me that because I don't think so. You
All
have to
right,
show me that. You would have to
all
show
right.
me that. You
I'll
have to
I'll
show me
do
that.
it.
All right,
I'll
guys,
do
let's
it,
go.
and I'll send it to you. Don't worry.
Ralph, good job. Let's go ahead and move on because it's
Good
almost
job.
10:30. All right, go ahead, Craig.
Well, my go-to criteria is just pretty much pretty simple. Like y'all said, they never played against each other. They never could or will play against each other. So you only come based on what they actually did. And for me, what Jordan did, I feel was had the best career in NBA history, in my opinion, based on what he did.
But what's
I
the
don't know.
criteria?
My criteria is basically is mainly three. You're the leading your team to a championship, of course, because championships, that's the ultimate goal of any player. For instance, LeBron didn't go to Miami to score, rebound, and assist. He went to win. So
Mm-hmm,
obviously, you got to put championships up there.
mm-hmm.
So how many times you lead in championship, and of course, it's you're playing against people like you're playing against your peers, so it's how much times you was better than your peers at any statistical category. For instance, LeBron has an assist title, so for that season he averaged and he assisted on the most out of every NBA player that played a minute in the game. And my third one is, of course, in the accolades, because you get rewarded for good play. So like it's pretty much simple. Like
Okay. That's that. You got 10 minutes now. That's all you want to get
well,
the focus.
I was asking how,
That's all
because
you need.
I have it like an example.
Mhm.
Where do I send the graph? How do I send it?
Well, I mean, you were
Send it to
supposed to
me.
you were supposed to send it before 12. That would have been helpful, brother.
Yeah,
Send it to me on Facebook.
All right. Hold on.
Okay. All right. So, Ralph, go ahead. You heard what he was saying. Do you have anything you want to speak on as far as his?
His was it was very basic, but it got to the point. You know,
Mm-hmm,
it's not what he did. It's not what he accomplished. It's how the way he did it. You know,
mm-hmm.
for him to have multiple seasons to where he got so many accolades. That holds value. So I mean, as far as his criteria, I don't have too much to really say about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Wilson, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, I'll say this. We all know Jordan was a phenomenal player. We can all agree to that. But what I look at it, the fact is, even Wilt faced the greatest players of his generation. Every player that you could put in a GOAT conversation, they faced the greatest players of their generation. Jordan never faced Elijah Warren ever in the final. Now, not knocking him for it, but at the same time, when you look at the overall landscape of the NBA after the Detroit Pistons, no team the Bulls faced was anything close to the Pistons. The Pistons weren't even on the same level they were on when they lost to the Bulls, because they had burned out so much tread on their tires in the 80s. But I give the Bulls their just due. They beat Detroit at the time. Detroit were the defending champion. They lost. It is what it is. But when we try and determine, to me, if you try and determine who's better overall, you got to look at the competition. And then we know LeBron has faced generational talent, and he's won everywhere he's gone, But I'll just leave it at that. Because I don't want to get too much into my criteria when I'm trying to give a rebuttal. So
okay,
I'll just do that.
I Devontae, go in because they be disrespecting Wilt, man. Go ahead, brother.
Well, when it comes to competition, Wilt played against 13 centers who's in the Hall of Fame. He played basically a whole season against Hall of Fame talent for the whole season. I
totally agree.
Most of Wilt Chamberlain records is against Bill Russell. You can't get no better than that. He
faced Kareem too.
He faced Kareem. Wilt played Kareem in the playoffs with a bum leg at 35 years old, and Kareem should have been dragging him, but he didn't. So being a Wilt guy, I think Wilt is he's hampered because he didn't get the so-called accolades. He got cheated out the MVP in '62. That's the statistical best season of all time in the NBA, and didn't win the MVP. So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it.
About that.
Hey, you got an excellent point because you don't hold back somebody that's good enough. You hold back people who are too dominant. So when you don't give out awards that are deserving of players who should have gotten them, that's something folks should look more into too. Because I'd be all that on that with LeBron when he didn't get Defensive Player of the Year when they gave it to somebody who was second team all defense. Now I get to you, and I tell folks all the time, what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be like I'm a bookworm or whatever when it comes to the stats or whatever. But I did grow up in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? And I know about like competition in and out. Like I don't ever disrespect or talk down on players I didn't watch growing up. You know what I mean? So when somebody brings stats about Wilt, you know what I mean, and you came with it. You came with the facts. They're undeniable. So I can see why you would put him in that conversation. But and then we talk about impact alone. So we know Wilt's team when they did what they did without him. But when you look at Jordan, like what sticks out like a sore thumb, that 55 wins that the Bulls had without him. And people overlook that and say, well, the Bulls got this, that, and the other to replace him. But I don't give a damn who you replace LeBron unless you give some other all NBA players, they're not going to be as successful. You know what I'm saying? That's just
did you get the graphs up ready for Craig?
He just sent it to me.
You just sent it to him?
Yeah, just sent it.
Well, the rebuttal.
Hold on, but yeah, because Anthony, you got to wait your turn, Anthony. You gotta wait your turn, Anthony.
Oh no,
we appreciate what you said.
I was trying to.
No, I got you. No, we hear what you're saying because I was gonna agree with you with there because let me go in while Brandon is still doing that so I can rebuttal to what Craig was saying. The thing I find here between also Ralph and Craig is that Jordan fans really think Jordan have the most accolades, and he really doesn't. Recently, I posted on our group that there's only one player in NBA history that won every award in the championship available to him, and that was Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain has an All-NBA first team, All-Defensive first team. He has a MVP. He has an All-Star MVP. He has Rookie of the Year. He has an NBA championship. He has a Finals MVP. He has a scoring title. He has an assist title. He has a rebounding title. He has every accolade available. He's an all-star, starting all-star. Every accolade that was available to a player when he played, Wilt Chamberlain has it. And if we go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which everybody knows, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the most decorated player in NBA history. I mean, it's hard to account what he has done as far as NBA, and college and all the stuff that he's done. He's incredible. High school, you know what I'm saying? If we dabble into that far deep into, and obviously with LeBron James. But the thing is like that's the thing about Michael Jordan fans is that they really don't present it so that you can see the broad scope of everything. It's really based on Michael Jordan, and then we stay in that vacuum And it's a nick and pick thing. So when it comes to Wilt Chamberlain, what you're going to do is not go to stats or accolades. You're going to go to championships. You're going to say he doesn't have enough championships. And then if we go to Bill Russell, you're going to say, well, he doesn't have the stats. And you're not really broadening the scope out. But here goes the graph here. You could explain the graph, Craig. Go ahead.
Well, this is just like a sample of what I was saying earlier. It's pretty much simple, like you know, for just to have a graph. Like I just did first couple of years before they even won any championships, because you know, I say he has championships as a team accomplishment. So this is basically the first 4 years, and basically what they did, what I did is I did their averages, their games played. Did averages and totals, the averages, the games played, where they rank in the top 50 at that time, and you know, of course, what they won at the end of the season. So this, you know, pretty much basically what I did between, because I get what everybody's saying about who's the greatest of all time, you know. But for me, the reason why I say is Jordan, because every player you mentioned, Wilt, Kareem, and even LeBron, are like the biggest players, you know, at the, you know, Tyler, like, well, 7'2", Kareem 7 foot, LeBron 6'9". Then you have this 6 foot guard who's being considered the greatest of all time for what he did. That says a lot. But going on for what I was saying, like, if you just look, these are just basically what they did, you know, from the first couple of years, and the wars behind it, you know, a team record and the team, you know, what their team did as well. So for instance, Jordan rookie year, they went 38-44, lost in the first round. You compare that to LeBron, yeah, they was 37-45, missed the playoffs. But you know, go with they seasonal ranks of what they averages, you know, because averages go by how many games you played, and the totals is, you know, how many games, you know, total that you play.
Okay, so is there any particular thing you want to highlight besides that year? Because I don't know if anybody can see that well. It's a good graph.
Yeah.
Is there any other part of this graph you want to highlight to show us?
Yeah, just highlight like how good they were before they started winning. How you know how good they were. Like for instance, LeBron rookie of the year, all rookie first team, Olympic bronze medal. Jordan rookie year, Olympic gold medal, rookie of the year, all NBA second team, all NBA first team. Then you go as they get better. You know, LeBron fourth year, he went to the, you know, he took his team to the finals. You know, Jordan first year, he basically won every type of award you could win that year, from the slam dunk to the MVP to defensive scoring, led the league in steals. So
slam dunk, huh?
I'm just saying it's a award. I'm just saying.
I want to ask you this though, because you're the most objective Jordan fan we've had on our show. When y'all say LeBron missed the playoffs those first 2 years, do you guys understand that the Bulls made the playoffs by default in 85 and 86 and 87?
Yeah, I said it. It was because of how many teams there were and how many teams can make the playoffs. You literally had to beat 2 other teams just to make the AFC compared to now. But it's not his fault, like that they had.
No, I agree. No, but I just know, but it's also not LeBron's fault that he had a good enough record that he could have made the playoffs. Yeah. But again, because he missed the playoffs by 1 game, I believe, in 2005. They literally
the Nets had them beat for the AFC. I'm just saying, like that's why I didn't put no more emphasis. That's why you don't see lost the first round, to how many games. It was just it's a team thing.
I got you. All right, Ralph. So go ahead, man. It's your floor. You said you wanted to rebuttal something. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, it was about what Wilson said about the shoot. Like I said,
it's too late now. All right, Brandon. It's your floor. You got anything you want to say since you've seen that?
Not really. Good criteria for, you know, but still, it's basically only a criteria for LeBron and Jordan, not a criteria for the greatest of all time. So that's just basically what it is. But I don't have no problems with it.
I picked them too because
I know why. Yeah, because those are 2 tops. So you're just comparing those.
When y'all was seeing
like
Brandon
alive,
I know y'all was complaining to me.
Yeah, well, hold
complaining to
on.
me
Let
like
me
crazy.
stop. Let me stop because they don't take one for the team, Brandon. So Craig wasn't saying that. It was really Ralph saying it's only the two. Y'all only. It was him and Alfred saying that it's only the two up there. It's only the two up there. All right.
No,
So
I was saying like I understood that the
mhm.
criteria you could compare to other players, but like we were just going off of what was there in like the two players. You're comparing the two players at
I'm
that
just saying the
time.
same
Understood.
reason why y'all could have the right to say LeBron is the GOAT over Wilt and Bill is the same reason why we could say Jordan is the GOAT over Bill and Will.
That's true.
So like
No, we
I
say
don't
I agree.
understand
I
why
agree. I
people
always
keep
say that
bringing up
too.
Wilt and Bill when we talking about LeBron and Jordan.
No, I always say that. I always tell people the same reasons you have Jordan over Bill Russell, which has 5 more championships than you, is the same reason why LeBron could be better than Jordan with 2 less championships. But Anthony, it's your floor, brother. You are the LBJ advocate
But that's
besides
why I
LeBron
didn't
and
put
I.
the championships in there though.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
specifically why.
Yeah, but you did say it was the most important thing because you mentioned him coming to Miami. So you did
Yeah, he
mention
didn't
it's
go to
important.
Miami to be the all-time scoring leader. He went to win a championship.
He's so great. He's gonna be the all-time scoring leader. But
Yeah.
Anthony, it's your turn, brother. Let's go. Let us know why you have LeBron as your GOAT, right? Am I correct?
I actually have Kareem, but for the day, I mean, I already said.
Okay, well, no. So then tell us why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest and using your criteria to do such. Go ahead, brother. Stand 10 toes down.
I mean, well,
Come on now.
Kareem's impact. Well, only reason why is because I know once LeBron passed him, that's when I officially make him go. But
Okay.
due to the fact this argument is, I mean, I can do it with LeBron, or Kareem. But the thing is this: the number one on my criteria, most important is impact. Basketball is a team sport. How much does that team fare without you? How well do they fare without you? Now, it was one season when Jordan only played maybe he didn't play that many games. He broke his foot in the early 80s. And of course, they went to they played against Boston, got swept. But he missed majority of the season. They still made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? As great as a player he is, they still made the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying it's really worth anything as far as, what they did once they got there. But if you look at the fact that you put LeBron on any team he's played with his whole career, and he only played 17 games, his team still do they stand a chance of making the playoffs? No. So not only that, I another thing on my list that's pretty high in the criteria is how strong or competitive was the era you dominated. Now, I'm not saying as far as players are concerned, because there was a lot of great players in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But if we're talking about teams, I mean, how many teams did the Bulls face after the Pistons in the 90s, and especially in the East? When you look at the Knicks, who had one Hall of Famer and one perennial All-Star for that whole decade in Patrick Ewing. You know what I'm saying? And the Bulls played them the most throughout the playoffs in the Eastern Conference alone. Now, of course, eventually they played teams like Miami later and whatnot. But by that point, Jordan had so much help around him. It was like all he had to do was just go out and, put up some shots and, smile for the camera and, be that star that they wanted him to be. And meanwhile, everybody else is doing all the dirty work. When I look at LeBron and his impact, he had to do more. And they say, well, he puts himself in a position to do more, to take credit. But whatever you want to say about it, I mean, he's shown he can defend multiple positions. He's shown he can do more than just score. He can impact the game defensively, and as well as get other players involved. Now, I'm not saying that Jordan couldn't, do that either. He had his way back in the day. But also, I would say, of course, we talked to death the individual accolade aspect. So I don't have to go that route. But back to the whole impact thing, even with Kareem, same as LeBron. LeBron won everywhere he went. He won everywhere he played. Kareem won everywhere he went and won everywhere he played. Kareem got players their first championships just like LeBron did. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at them, and Jordan did as well. So I'm not going to try to make it seem like I'm trying to omit Jordan or down talk him. But as far as when you look at Jordan's career, when he won, like there was really no other great teams around, and that can be easily easily confirmed. When you look at when Jordan was dominating, it was more so in the modern expansion era, where it was easy to make him the face of the league because nobody at his position was as talented. We can argue there's guys at LeBron's position that are just as talented that he's beaten, they beating him as well. But that's also another thing to factor in. Like, how tough was your career? Like, what exactly did you do to put yourself? So like, what exactly did you have to overcome? You know what I mean? Jordan after Detroit didn't really have to overcome. Sorry, y'all, my daughter was interrupting me. But after Jordan got over Detroit, there's really nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that there weren't solid teams back in the '90s, because there were. But when LeBron got over Boston, he still had to get over San Antonio and Golden State. You know what I'm saying? And Golden State with Durant. And now, right now, he's with the Lakers, and he's dealing with a whole new plethora of generational talent. You know, and he's still putting up the numbers, and he's still producing. He's still, at least keeping his team in contention, even with a player who was supposed to have been his number one or two, 1A, 1B, however you want to put it, and he can't stay healthy. So, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's I think the GOAT argument, of course, is very much subjective. But I just think when you compare the whole, that one glaring factor of impact, where you really can't look in Jordan's career and measure up his impact to other players, other greats. Like this, I can't now. His impact on the game and his impact on the youth and kids coming up after him wanting to play, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But that was mostly due to marketing and advertising. You know what I'm saying. But if we're talking about impacting your team, when you leave your team, they hurt when you leave because you're that great. You know what I'm saying? Jordan left in his prime, and the Bulls still won 55 games. I know people overlook that and think it's nothing. Then he came back because he thought he could steal a title in '95 and lost with 2 Hall of Fame teammates. And I know people was trying to say Kukoc became a Hall of Famer due to his play in the international circuit. But he was a 25-year-old rookie who gave the Bulls hella depth. Okay, he came off the bench when Jordan came back, and when he wasn't there, he was starting. So I'll just say in closing, the reason why I couldn't put Jordan as a GOAT, I would easily say that he's the greatest player or shooting guard of his era, and I don't think that's a slap on him at all. But when you measure the impact, you're not going to find it. You're going to see when he didn't have the talent around him, he scored a lot of points, but he still lost. You know what I'm saying? Even with Wilt. You know what I mean? But Wilt was just playing against a lot of Hall of Famers, even though he had Hall of Famers on his team, but he still played generational talent. He could say he played the best of the best in his era. Jordan can't say he played the best of the best even in the era that he dominated, because Akeem Olajuwon, the same guy in his era, won a championship without a Hall of Fame teammate. That same year, no teammate was an All-NBA, was an All-Star, was All-Defense, not even Sixth Man of the Year. That gets overlooked because he's not Michael Jordan. So I just say that in closing. You know what I'm saying? Anybody wants to, but you got the floor.
So the floor starts with you, Ralph. Go ahead. You heard what Anthony had to say. What you think about his criteria?
Well, as far as what he was saying, it's more so of the certain things he was really saying with the impact, like when he stated that when Jordan left they won 55 games. That is true, but that team was better than the team the year before because they added Tony Kukoc. That was the same championship team that won the championship. So if they were better, if that was the same squad plus Tony Kukoc the next year and they didn't even get past the second round. So to say that Jordan didn't make a big impact, according to that, is false. Because if that was the case, they should have went further.
Okay, well, do you know why can I rebut? I don't want to.
No, give it a second. Hold on, give it a sec, because
okay, I know everybody else wants to rebut, and I don't want.
Yeah. No, we're gonna everybody go first, and then you're gonna just rebut to everybody. You don't get your chance, brother. Go ahead, Devontae. So, what you think about what he was saying as far as having Kareem and then LeBron's obviously behind him? Before we go to you, so it's Kareem, LeBron, and who's behind LeBron on your list?
Anybody y'all want to put behind him?
So it's just Kareem and then LeBron. All right, so go ahead, Devontae. What you think about Anthony's take as far as his criteria?
Me personally, I got Wilt number 1. I actually got Jordan number 2 right now, but I think LeBron is going to pass him in my book. Number 3, I got Kareem. Number 4, I got Bill, and number 5, I got Russell. I mean, 5. I got Magic. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think his criteria is correct. I also think they would have beat the Knicks if they called that walk on Ewing. You know, that's just whack. But
a walk. Hold on. Wait, you said a walk on Ewing. There was a play because I know everybody talks about
in the finals. Wait, were you talking about?
I'm talking the year that Jordan wasn't there when they won 55 and they lost to
you mean when the Bulls lost to the Knicks?
Yeah.
So you said there's a play that you saying there's a play that what's his name walked? No. He's saying there's a play where Patrick Ewing walked and they didn't call it.
Yeah, from the top of the key to the foul line. No, I'm sorry, that was against the Pacers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he missed that layup. He missed it, and the Pacers won.
Yeah, that was against the Pacers. Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure because I know.
I'm like, hold on, he lost. He lost.
The Knicks and the Bulls.
I was waiting. I knew what he was talking about. I knew which team. You got to remember, I'm the Knicks guy.
You know, I'm on point, guys. You know, I call everybody out. We got to make sure nobody's saying nothing without knowing what they're saying. So, we'll go ahead, Devontae, continue.
But I think I like what he said. I still think Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT because I think Wilt Chamberlain played against better competition at his position during his career, and he also played against 2 all-time great teams in the finals against the Celtics and the Knicks. You know, and even though he played against the Warriors too in the finals, you know, it wasn't the Celtics and the Knicks. You know, both teams posting 4 to 5 Hall of Famers in their prime when they played them. So that's my rebuttal to that.
True that. All right, Craig, it's your floor. Go ahead. What you think about Anthony's list?
It's just weird. It's like Jordan's competition is excuse because it's excuse why he wins, and everybody else competition is excuse that they lose. It's all of it. It's just weird how people feel that way. Like Jordan won because of the competition. Well, then LeBron lost because of the competition. That still ain't good. Like that's I mean, like it's weird because they go by the experience, like the accolades and stuff with this. Like Jordan never had nobody as an MVP. Y'all saying Kareem, but he go on 5 championships with Magic. Y'all want to talk about competition? I got to talk about the help. When name of MVP Jordan played with? You can't. Magic won 3. He got more. He got more final MVPs than Kareem.
Well, but let me ask you this though: why don't nobody ever call Kareem or Magic Robin? How come the Robin and Batman theory starts with Jordan and Pippen?
Good question.
Good.
I can't answer that.
Elevate
I
Jordan.
can't answer that.
Someone said crack is for the crap.
What?
No, Brandon, go ahead and speak on. Go ahead and speak on Anthony's criteria.
Not help.
Craig, you brought up something good, Craig. That's a good point. Go ahead.
It's cool. I know you talked about competition, which I don't agree it should be one of the determining factors of who is the greatest or not. But just like Ralph and Craig, I'm fine with it. It's not too much of a problem. I don't think it's the best criteria. I think I got the best, so that's just me.
I mean, it's yours.
That's opinion. That's why it's opinion.
Everybody gonna feel that way.
It's definitely not opinionated. Mine's all facts. We'll go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I like about what Anthony said is he started off by saying, yes, it is subjective. It's based off his personal preference. And from what I can understand, what he's saying as far as impact is the actual impact as far as winning on your team. And when you do that, the way he explains it, right, as far as the way Kareem impacted his team win. As soon as Kareem joined the league, they win a championship, 2 years into his season. You know what I'm saying? And
Magic was a rookie.
That's true. No, that's true. That's true. But that Magic was a rookie with an MVP. Kareem, you were just talking about.
And Kareem MVP. Was
who was the MVP first?
3-time MVP. That's all I'm saying.
No, but I'm just saying, who was the MVP first? Magic.
Jordan never had a top 5 teammate. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I got you there. But I'm just saying, like when you talk about Kareem's impact, it falls in line with what Anthony is saying. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not really, going to down him for that. But like he said, he's subjective with it. That's his personal preference. That's his impact. When he talks about the level of competition, it kind of does matter if you're going to use championships, because that's the main part of the conversation. Like we said, most of the people who right? Am I wrong by saying that?
No. I'm laughing at the comment,
top 3
bro.
in MVP voting. I just said Magic was an MVP 3 times. He's talking about a top 3 MVP voting. Come on, man.
That's what we laughing at.
Okay. But that's what because for him, like with the thing with the 90s is like you said, when you say help, Jordan actually had more help because of the 90s, because he had a Pippen. Because you can't point at nobody else who had a player as great as Pippen in the 90s. So
16, 5 and 3, 16, 6 and 5. You can't find LeBron never had nobody that was better than 16, 6 and 5.
That's
9. Find me. Forget the stats, because y'all don't like stats. I'm gonna go to the
accolades. I don't like stats when it don't benefit y'all.
All right, what's good, Devontae? Good to appreciate you for joining the show, man. Thank you for joining us. So, all right, so we're gonna let
Anthony Wilson with your crazy ass.
All right, so Anthony, you brought us some people here, so go ahead, brother, defend and rebuttal everybody who had a problem.
I want Anthony Wilson. That's what I want.
Let me first rebut Ralph.
Now I respect him though.
Stated that the Chicago Bulls failed to get out of the second round against the Knicks
in '95.
You gotta let him speak, Devontae. You gotta let people speak, brother. You're gonna get your chance. You're gonna come in right after him.
That was actually 94, but the thing is, the Bulls weren't off rip. To win 55 games without your star player in his prime. Now, Ralph made a point. Ralph said out his own mouth, and when y'all go back to the footage, you'll be able to just see for yourself. He said the Bulls were better after Jordan left when they picked up Kukoc. Did he not?
He said something like that. They were good.
I said the team was
they got better.
They got Jordan. They got better
before he left.
May I say something, Ralph?
If you compare the team, the 93 championship team to that team the next year, that team was better.
Okay.
May I say something in regards to that?
But let me finish.
Let him finish. You're going to go on, Devontae. Go ahead.
So with that being said, Jordan came back to a better team and underachieved in 95 to an Orlando team with just one Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
right? That's a great point. That's a great point.
Let me. All right, I'm gonna put that point.
Well, let me continue.
Go ahead, finish.
Now, my point is, and it always has been, when Jordan has won, he was on the team that was significantly better. When you look at all of his finals opponents, from the Trailblazers to the Phoenix Suns to the Seattle Supersonics, all three of those teams had one Hall of Famer. Okay. Now, when you go to Utah, they had two, but by the time he faced Utah, he had Kukoc, Rodman, and Pippen. So that's three Hall of Fame players on top of a Hall of Fame coach. Now, it wouldn't be so bad if you go into the 80s. Now, Magic didn't just play with Kareem. He played with Jamal Wilkes too. He played with your boy from North Carolina. Okay,
James Worthy.
So
McAdoo.
at the same time, in that same decade, you had Larry playing with Archibald and early in his career, who's a Hall of Famer. He also played with Kevin McHale. He also played with Robert
Pete Maravich.
An established Robert Parrish now.
Wait, let me finish. My point is this. When you go back into the 80s, you can't just say there was just one team that had a roster full of Hall of Famers like in the 90s. When Jordan had it, nobody else was close. You can even go into 83, which probably was the best team ever assembled in that decade. And they only won one title in the 83 Sixers. They had at least 4 Hall of Famers, maybe 5.
Yeah.
So now so when I say impact, that's what I mean. Now, when Jordan, just like I said, when Jordan was winning, even when he came back with the Wizards, okay, that Wizards team wasn't trash. Like most arguments people will say is when Jordan came back with the Wizards, he helped them win a certain amount of games or whatever, right? Now they'll say the Wizards was on pace at one time to go to the playoffs, right? Then he got injured, right? But then he comes back the very next year, plays all 82 games, and has the same record as they did last year when he got injured. So where's the impact? Know what I'm saying?
All right.
You got guys in that played with him say they wish they never played with him because they kind of ruined the early days of their career. And Jerry Stackhouse.
I give you that, Big Ant. I give you that.
Okay, all right. So hold on.
I give you that, Big Ant. I give you that.
Let's let Durante speak. Durante, you got about a quick minute, and then we're gonna let Ralph answer. Then we're gonna get ready for Goat James Kingdom. So go ahead, Durante. Speak on Anthony, man. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I'm gonna add to what he just said. You know,
Durante, not Devontae. Durante is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, Durante. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Durante just showed up to the show. Welcome to the show. You popped his chair. Thank you.
Now, Ant, let me ask you this question about the 94-95 season when the Bulls went 55 games. Were they looking to rebuild at that point?
It looks like they were. They went and got Kukoc. They were building on top of what they already had. If anything,
they were looking on building what they already had.
They went like Longley,
which means they were in full contention mode. So for you to say,
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you keep that same thought. Boston Celtics in the 1989-90 season, didn't Larry Bird get hurt? Okay, look at who the Boston Celtics had.
He did.
Okay, now if you look at who Boston Celtics had on their roster, right? They still made the playoffs, but they got swept in the first round. But if you look at their roster, they still had Kevin McHale, they still had Robert Parrish, they still and they had an up-and-coming star and what's the brother name that died? Reggie Lewis.
Yeah.
You had Dennis Johnson the last year of his career. He was still averaging like 10 points a game. I don't mention him because he was in the, he was toward the end of his career, but you still got you still got two Hall of Famers and an up-and-coming star along with some other solid players around them, and the team basically falls apart without Larry Bird. They get swept in the first round, bro. Now the Bulls didn't even have that many Hall of Famers. So I take that back because they got two coaches, so you can say two. But the Bulls actually, but Austin had three. Now and they still underachieved without Bird. Bulls overachieved without Jordan, and I can say part of that argument is because the league wasn't all that great for one. Number two, the Bulls were still a solid team. It was just team. Think about it. Their competition.
I mean, no one discredited.
I don't know about Ralph. There was a lot more parity in the league. It was parity in the league. It was parity, bro. Jordan left, and it made it kind of even around the league. I'll say that. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that.
You lose the argument because Jordan always had the upper hand. We talking about better teams.
It was he was Jordan. He was a better player.
Go ahead, Ralph.
That's why they had the upper hand.
All right, hold on, bro.
Go ahead, Ralph.
All right, so you said they won 55 games, and the very next season, before Jordan came back, they were in the ninth season.
Struggling.
In those 17 games, they were 13.
Struggling.
I'm just gonna go there, but continue.
So that right there,
with Pippen leading now.
Hold on. Now that season. Mm-hmm. When they got knocked out in the playoffs against Orlando, they jumped from 9th to 5th in 17 games. So
that means Jordan wasn't rusty, right?
That means he and this is and they had the same, right? They had the thing. Here's the 7th to 5th. I'm sorry.
They were in the playoffs already. I was going to say that.
They were falling out of the playoffs, though.
They were in the playoffs.
They're on the way out now.
No, they wasn't. Now the team that didn't make the playoffs had won 38 games. At that time, when Jordan joined the Bulls, they already.
Listen to what I'm saying. They were on the way out of the playoff contention.
Devontae, listen to what I'm telling you. The team that did not make the playoffs in 1995 had 38 wins. When Michael Jordan joined the Bulls, they already had 36 wins. They were making the playoffs without Michael Jordan. And the fact that you're going to use that, the fact that you're going to use the fact that you're going to use Michael Jordan for why the Bulls jumped up in seeding and then have an excuse when he couldn't beat the Orlando Magic 2 rounds later is what I'm going to bring up.
His ass came back.
No. There's
fair game. Nick Anderson stole the ball from his ass. That's what happened.
To
me, that's what happened. I'm a Jordan fan. That's what happened. Nick Anderson stole the ball from his ass.
They lost that series.
He quit on the
Bulls.
He
lost that series.
He quit on the Bulls because he knew he was going to go recruit and go get somebody to help him win a championship, and he ended up doing that.
Recruit
That's
now.
Wait.
But let me go back to what I'm
Recruit
saying.
now. Come on now.
But
What was he looking for?
Let me finish.
He was just looking for somebody to get rebounds.
Oh wait, this is where we gave y'all an hour, right? Everybody's had their chance. Everybody had their chance to speak on the GOAT conversation. No, I know you wasn't done, brother, but we had an extra person come in. Durante came in late, so we had to
That's my fault. That's my fault.
No, it's all right. It's okay. We listen again. We are here to speak, Ralph. You know, we give you this time. We gave you, you know what I'm saying. But we got to move on so that we can get going because it is playoff time. So go ahead, Brandon, because I know you wanted to update your information. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So last week when I started this was what I presented, and everyone didn't like it because it basically favored LeBron James. They said, which it didn't really favor LeBron James. So I updated the graph, and my updated graph included everyone who was in the top 10 in every category. So top 10 in MVPs, Finals MVPs, defensive players, like all of this is in the top 10. Rebounds, assists, and where everyone ranks. So as we look at everything, LeBron ranks higher in top 10 in categories of all these categories. So MVPs, Finals MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years, titles, finals, All-Star, like all of these categories, LeBron ranked the highest in all of these categories. And Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain were not able to get a lot of these categories. So just playing, just doing a hypothetical, Wilt Chamberlain would have more than 2 Defensive Player of the Years just with Bill Russell. They would have more than, 5 all defensive teams, blocks, steals. So they would probably be right up there with them. But since they were not able to get those, categories, they're down lower than most. So I believe this is 15 players that, meet these categories. So this is like where I put everything at. So I got LeBron number 1. Kareem is the second highest. And Tim Duncan actually surprised me. Him and Jordan was tied because
Talk about it.
Had
about Timmy now.
He had a great career. Like most people don't understand. I always put Shaq above Tim Duncan, but every time I do any type of ranking system, he's above Shaq every single time. Like I just don't understand. Like how I watched Tim Duncan his whole career, and I didn't realize how great Tim Duncan was. But Tim Duncan was a phenomenal player. I can't believe how good he was. Kobe Bryant is right there. I used Dr. J's ABA stats as well, so I wasn't going to penalize him because the ABA most people say was probably a tougher league, so I'm going to use that. So
thank you.
As we see, Hakeem, Shaq, Magic, and Dr. J are right there, like they're. And then, like I said, Wilt and Russell is down there because of what they could not achieve. Bird is there with Curry. Pippen is right there. I know most people think he was just a sidekick, but Pippen was an excellent player. Jerry West is up there, and Kevin Garnett. So I know a lot of people was talking about, the totals shouldn't be in there because Jordan didn't play enough games. It always goes back to what Jordan did, and I did what was in the top 10 of everybody. So I didn't really go off of, what people average. So I'm going to show you why I never agree with why averages should be, included in what a player did, because once you play fewer games, you are always going to, have a basic higher average. That's just how it works. So a player who played less games is going to have a higher average. So if we look at Anthony Davis to Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, he's gonna his averages are just a lot better than them. Simple as that. He averaged more points. The rebounds about the same. Assists about the same. He averaged more steals. He averaged more blocks, free throw percentage, like field goal, PER. Like Anthony Davis, if we're going by averages, better than Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, which I don't agree with. But if we go by totals, we could see why most people would have Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett above Anthony Davis because his totals just do not match up. So that's why I use totals and not averages, because if you play, less, your average is going to be less. So just going at that, I'm going to bring up some players with. Okay, this is our point guards. So we see Gary Payton, Tony Parker, Jason Kidd. These are first ballot Hall of Famers. You look at Stephen Marbury's stats. His
amazing.
Are really better than these first ballot Hall of Famers. And he's not sniffing the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So when we go to shooting guards, we look at Bradley Beal. He's better than all these shooting guards if we go by averages. You play longer.
Brandon Lee, you're making some amazing points. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a Jordan fan. I see where you're going. You're making some amazing points. Right, you're making some great points though. Like I can't even cap. These are facts, real facts.
Right,
that I need some of my fellow Jordan fans to understand. But go ahead.
So let's just go to small forwards. Glenn Robinson is better than these Hall of Famers.
Yes. Great.
If we go by averages.
Good player in his day, by the way.
Oh, he was great. He was a great player.
He was good. He was definitely good.
All right, so this is one that's pretty hilarious. So if we go by these three dominant centers and we go by Cat, he's a better player than them. And I don't think he's better than them at all.
Come on now.
But when we go by averages, he's gonna be ahead of them. So that's why I went towards, totals, because totals show you what you did in the career. So totals really tells you how someone is, how someone played, and how dominant they were throughout their careers. And one thing that a lot of people who say Jordan is the greatest, they want to disregard his totals. When Michael Jordan totals are pretty high. His totals are not low.
That's what I'm saying.
So
highest F.
Everybody's 20 or more.
Highest F.
I don't understand why people want to disregard totals when Michael Jordan totals are high.
And he played 15 years. Let's take that into account too.
They had to play 20. That's why I said if you think someone's better than Jordan, it's because they played longer. That's it. Because everybody's ahead of him played more.
And I get all the LeBron argument and all. Trust me, I get that. But just go ahead.
No, that's
why I did the when they first came into the league, but they had
I argue for LeBron too now. I argue for LeBron now.
We got Trey in the house. Right. What's good, Trey?
All right, so let's go ahead around the table. Ant first.
All right, so hold on. This is how it's gonna go. So
Ralph first, right? Yeah,
Ralph goes gonna go first. Then it's Ant. Then it's Devontae. Craig just snapped in a little bit, but then we're gonna let Durante and then Trey will come in last, and then we'll get ready for my special for y'all. So go ahead, Ralph.
I'm kind of just here to view, man. I'm kind of just here to view, to tell you the truth.
All right, no doubt. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you so much.
All right, go ahead, Ant. No, Ralph. Yes, Ralph.
I'm about to say.
He updated it, Ralph. He updated it.
He did. The only thing that I was saying last week, to give those categories that you have, the numbers don't even, when you're comparing two players that you're arguing with the GOAT. I like how I did with the criteria. I just listed the categories. I didn't put a certain number. And then whoever had more is who I checked off on. They did it better than that person. I didn't say, 3 or more. Like if you say 3 or more, that is so many that's
less than 10
that puts other players in it as well.
There's less than 10 players. That's why I did it. Because you have to have at least 3. You have to be in the top 10 to be considered a great.
But it's not saying who did it better though.
Oh no.
Like if you put Larry Bird and LeBron, they both got 3 MVPs. So like who did it better?
LeBron you gotta go down the list.
But Bird had 3 consecutively though.
But my thing
and LeBron had 4 and 5 years.
That's my point. It's like, LeBron has more than him. So LeBron should check off of that. Larry shouldn't get a check. That's what I'm saying. And then when you go down the list, who did out of all the categories, who has the most check marks? And whoever has the most check marks wins.
And Jordan,
but what are we checking off though?
Jordan wouldn't be
like
that if we did that. If we did that,
What are we checking off?
Jordan will have 0.
No, Jordan would not
Jordan
be
have one.
there.
He
Jordan
will have one.
He would have one.
But
what
are we checking
what you
off?
talking about? He will have one.
If we go to most MVPs, Jordan doesn't check off.
No. I'm saying it when you're comparing the two players.
Kareem checks off in that category.
If we go to most MVPs, Jordan doesn't check off.
Kareem checks off.
If we go to most finals MVPs, Jordan checks off. We go to most defensive players, Jordan doesn't check off.
At all.
If we go to the most titles, Jordan doesn't check off.
At all.
If we go to the most finals, Jordan doesn't check off.
At all.
If we go to all-star selections, Jordan doesn't check off.
At all.
But what
NBA, no, that's what you're saying. If we go to all NBA first team, Jordan doesn't check off. We go to all NBA first team, all defensive first team, he has the tie, but there's 2 other guys that has the check with him, so he'll have 2 checks there. He doesn't have the most, but he'll have the check for the most there, but with other guys. Then he doesn't have the most points, doesn't have the most rebounds, doesn't have the most assists, doesn't have the most blocks, doesn't have the most steals, doesn't have the most 3-pointers, doesn't have the most triple-doubles, doesn't have the most double-doubles. So Jordan would only have 2 if we went by what you went, and there would be other players with more than 2, and that's why Jordan isn't the GOAT if you do it your criteria.
No, what I'm saying is like whenever you're comparing those players, like it's like, for instance, you got LeBron at 13 because he checks off on just about all of them, but he's not going to check off all of them for the fact that if you're putting those numbers in front, LeBron's going to check on a lot, but if you don't, he's not going to check off a 13. He's going to check off some, but he's not going to check off all of them.
But he's going to check off like 2 or 3, which is going to make him just as good as Jordan.
Right. And
that's the whole thing.
No cap. Jordan fan.
That's why I'm fine with his criteria.
No cap.
That's why I'm fine.
All right, so
but what I'm
just
saying that that's how
let's stop playing with Bron. Let's please stop playing with Bron now.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Now, what I'll say in closing is this. For one, I was getting a reply. Wait, hold on 1 second. Okay. Let me get my train of thought back. Now, with Jordan in this situation, in this competition, I've already broke down the fact that they were in the expansion era. I broke down the fact that you had that new team that built like the Bulls, especially from 96 to 98. I also took into consideration all of the rule changes that were added to help guards be more successful in a big man's era. That goes for moving the 3-point line in. That goes for the flagrant foul rule, okay, and the restriction area in the paint for the big man. I'm probably pretty sure there's a few others, but if you look at any other decade, you didn't see all that stuff going on. Okay. Not only that, you had teams like 98 alone. You had like 5 teams that didn't reach 20 wins in the season. But people will argue that Jordan played against greater competition. Okay, there is no argument that any person who says that Jordan is better, that they can make for Jordan state that he played better competition. When you can look at you can count on how many fingers, how many teams made it to the finals with just one Hall of Famer. Now, going back to Ralph when he made mention about the Bulls being in threat of not making the playoffs or whatever, and they moved up a couple of seeds. What he's not taking into consideration was that year he also lost Horace Grant. Horace Grant was a big reason why that they were struggling because they had no.
Hey, Devontae.
The next year. Okay. Now
I couldn't hear a word you said.
Okay.
All
right. But do you have anything to say about this criteria? I know you want to go back to Ralph.
Man, I can't say nothing about this. I mean, you put more work in it than I did. I mean, it looked good to me.
Come on, no.
All right. So go ahead, Devontae. It's your turn, brother. Please go ahead.
Hey man, just because you have more Hall of Famers on your team doesn't mean your team is built to win a championship. Let's go ahead and get that out the way.
Okay. Well, Devontae is Devontae, not Devontae. Devontae, please, Devontae.
No. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Go ahead, Devontae.
All right. Looking at this criteria, I think that it's unfair
Oh, he's breaking in and out. Yeah, you're breaking in and out.
Oh, damn. You're on your phone. That's what happened.
Can you hear me?
Breaking. Hello? Nah, you're breaking in and out.
He heard he was about to run like the grass, so he cut him off.
Yeah, go ahead, Craig. Go ahead, Craig. No, he's back. Is he back? Are you good? Can you talk?
You good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay. I think it's unfair to like the Bill Russells and the Wilt Chamberlains in the world because
I said that.
Because half of these things didn't exist.
Nah, he's still breaking in and out. You're breaking out. You was good for a while, but go ahead, Craig. Just trying because Devontae, your internet's not working well. You're breaking in and out. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, a couple of things, not just to this one that he's pulling up right now. Of course, it's if you do it this way, it's going to make it seem like by looking like this, it'll just seem that everybody has 3 MVPs, 2 final MVPs, 2 defensive player of the year. So I would say it didn't matter.
At least 10 players do though. That's the thing. Everything listed here, at least 10 players have.
Yeah, and we always talk about, how we talk about competition and stuff. Like the help should count too. I mean, again,
and Scotty's 16 points was no real help.
I don't know.
Again, Kareem had plenty.
To what level?
3. It has to be a level because the same reason. And the thing is, y'all always saying Jordan, like Jordan was the only person to win in the 90s. So the Detroit that won when the first 2 teams came in the league, they rings don't. It's still
1990.
Houston in 93, 94, 95. No one talks about their rings being because of the league expansion. It's just for 91 to 93.
Oh, I can
98 is when.
But that's
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You talking about like teammates?
That is not included in this though. That's
what I'm saying. But that's not in the criteria.
That's not included in this.
That's not in his.
Kobe and D Fish won more rings than Kobe and Shaq. That's all I'm saying.
Well, all right. So Devontae, it is your turn, brother. Can you critique anything that Brandon came up with his criteria? You have any issues or anything you want to talk about it?
Really, I don't have no issues with facts, bro. I don't have no issues with facts because, like, how can you argue that? Okay. You can only like when it comes to facts, it only comes to opinion, bro. Like, and you can make it your own. I guess argument. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this is my thing with like what Brandon did, and this is why we do what we do here at Go James Kingdom is we try to be as objective as possible, right? So
right.
If you take the top 10 players and what they accomplish in every statistical category that he's put up here, and every accolades and every achievement, if a guy checks off more than everybody else, that means he did more than everybody else. He was able to accomplish more than everybody
else. I get you on that.
So that's how I see Brandon coming up with this information. And a lot of people don't like this because it takes away your subjectiveness. It takes away you saying, well, I like Craig is saying, I want to add help to it. Or Anthony, I want to add impact to it. You want to add things that we really can't measure. We really can't measure how much help Scottie Pippen was compared to Dwayne.
Right. Thank you.
So it's like
because he was given a role, bro.
Yeah, now we can respect each other's intellect enough to say, okay, well, you seem like a smart enough man to why you want to say that. But like you said, if you're not basing it really on facts, then we're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not really we're not really talking basketball. And what Brandon brought up here is basketball. We're talking about
basketball, yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
And when you look at the list, right? I think that's Trey down at the bottom. You can mute Trey. When you look at the list of the players, these are the players that everybody always talk about, the greatest players of all time.
Right.
And it's because I always talk about how great Jerry West is and how great Scottie Pippen is, and they end up making this list. There's there's no other players, Brandon. That's it. That you said there was no other players that had 4, like Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant. None of them have 4.
None of them.
None. So this is all the players that would check off 4, at least 4 on this list.
This is an exclusive list right here.
Wow. That's
very exclusive list.
Yeah, I mean, how's that hard to argue?
And like I debated with Anthony Wilson before, you know what I'm saying? He makes valid points. You know, to me, it's just all about what a player during their time they played, man. Like
that's it. That's all it did. What they
you know what I'm saying? Like I see the argument for LeBron, bro. When I tell you I'm a diehard Jordan fan, and I'm not even a Jordan fan that's seen his whole career. I'm a Jordan fan that remembers the last 2 years of the Bulls and the Wizard years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember all that, but
so you can't
when it comes to overall career, bro, like,
yeah, you can't wear Jordan 9s, you can't wear Jordan 1s, you got to stick to the 13s.
My only thing is I don't want to other players to boost up the player that they chose, because always argument is, well, Bill Russell or Wilt, but we're not talking about Bill Russell and Wilt. We're talking about
exactly, and I got a different argument for before the merger and after the merger as well, the NBA ABA merger, because before the NBA merger, the best talent wasn't in the league. The best talent wasn't in the league, and the best teams, the best rule, like all the 3-point line wasn't in the league during the ABA era. That was some ABA shit.
Yeah. But that's true. But this is the thing about the thing that Craig and Ralph seem to don't understand, is that you guys treat the GOAT conversation like Mortal Kombat. It's a one-on-one issue. We're playing one-on-one basketball, and I always told you it is the greatest player of all time.
But you can't, because they never played against Wilt. They never played against Bill.
So that's why you have to.
All right.
But that's why. But listen, it's my turn now. I'm gonna bring y'all why.
Hey, let's see if Devontae's internet better, so he could chime in.
Devontae, are you feeling better? Can you talk? You got better internet?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Like I said before, these things is detrimental to players like Wilt and Bill, because between the 11 years they played, they would have definitely won between them at least 5 defensive players of the year, and blocks and assists and all that. So all that
those weren't even stats back then.
I'm sorry.
No, he was saying that they didn't record blocks and steals. We know that.
They didn't. And that hurts them in this criteria. And as far as my man said, the ABA and the NBA, when people make that argument, I ask them, name 5 ABA players, and they can't.
They can't.
They keep trying to say the ABA had all the talent, but they can't name 5 ABA players.
But a lot of the NBA talent after the merger was ABA talent though. But people still don't know that though.
You got
David Thompson.
Name him. When you
the guy Michael Jordan tried to model his game after David Thompson.
Yeah. When you talk to basketball heads, we can.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. If you know basketball, you don't disrespect the ABA. You can. Obviously,
never.
We all know the NBA was far ahead of the ABA, but the talent that was going to the ABA. In fact, Will Chamberlain threatened Philadelphia that he was going to go to the ABA.
It was a fun league. It was fun.
So, yeah, it was more street ball. It was more it was more quote black.
You could
basketball.
do your thing.
Yeah,
they had live. You know what I'm saying? The live presentation. And that was ABA shit. That wasn't NBA shit. Was recording the games and showing them.
Okay, and that's why for me, with my criteria, with the way I bring it is, all time is included. So I include all the way back to 1948 when the NBA started. I include the ABA because it merged in with the NBA. They took rules from the ABA. They took the style from the ABA. It created a great basketball that we all know, that we all learned to love basketball during the 80s. So for me, the conversation I brought up last week was you have to have the stats, you have to have the accolades, you have to have the achievements, and you have to have the game impact. And I broke it down here. You got it available, Brandon?
Yeah.
So let's start with the stats first, okay? So these are LeBron James stats. LeBron James averages 27 points per game,
phenomenal.
7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steals, almost a block per game in the regular season, playing over 1,300 NBA games, and still adding to it now. His playoff numbers only get better. He averages almost 29. He gives you 9 rebounds, 7 assists, almost 2 steals, almost a block. In the finals, he even steps it up and gets you a double-double with 28, 10, 7, and almost 8 assists. He's just incredible. It doesn't matter where he's on the basketball court. He's the most consistent player we know. And then if we go to totals, which everybody seems to hate because LeBron totals are incredible. It's 38,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists, 2,000 steals, 1,000 blocks. He's the only player in NBA history to have those stat lines. And there's other things that he has that are just incredible. Who's that in the background? Somebody got to mute themselves, please.
a mute. I mean, echo.
Is that it's got to be? It's either Trey or I think it's Durante. No, it's Trey.
My
I just muted
audio
mine.
kind of messed up, man. I apologize for that, man.
No,
I
but
apologize
just mute
for
your
that, man.
microphone. Just mute your microphone, please.
Nah, but Carl, you on track though, bro.
I got you.
For sure on track.
Okay, all right. So LeBron James has 2,000 3-pointers made. He has 4,000 made in the 400 made in the playoffs. Only he and Stephen Curry have those numbers. He has an assist title. He has a scoring title, okay? And he averages in 19 seasons, he's averaging 25 points per game plus. He has the most 20-point games, the most 25-point games, the most 25 5-5 games, the most 35 in 5 games. He has the most 30-10 in 5 games in the playoffs and the most 40-10 games in the playoffs. He's also, when we go to the analytics, folks who like analytics, he's number 1 in VORP and win shares for the regular season, but he's also number 1 in VORP win shares, defensive win shares, and offensive win shares for the postseason. He has the most All-Star game points and the most games played. When he plays this year, it's going to be 19. He's going to break the record. LeBron is top 10 in over 10 different playoff stats. He's top 5 in 10 of them, and he's basically number 1 in like 7 or 8 different playoff stats. All right, that's his stats. Then if we go to his accolades, go to his accolades, please.
Okay.
Crazy.
If we go to his accolades, I know we always sit here and talk. I keep telling people LeBron James has the most NBA trophies. He has the most NBA awards and the most accolades. LeBron James will be a 19-time All-Star, which will tie him with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But when he plays, he will be actually one to play the most games. He has the most All-NBA selections. He has 6 All-Defensive selections. He has 4 MVP selections. He has a Rookie of the Year. He was all rookie first team. He has 6 Rookie of the Month. Okay, for all y'all who say Carmelo Anthony should have won it, there's only 6 months in the NBA season. Every month he was the Rookie of the Month. He has 4 Finals MVPs. He has 3 All-Star games MVPs. All right, he has 65 plus Player of the Weeks. Okay, and an NBA season is roughly 26 weeks in an NBA season. So we're talking about over 2 NBA seasons of Player of the Week for his career. He has 40 plus Player of the Month. We were just talking about playing for the month. That's over 8 NBA seasons of Player of the Month awards, which are actual trophies that they present every month in the NBA to the player who wins it. He has 3 Olympic medals. He has a FIBA champ. He has 4-time AP Player of the Year. He's a 3-time sports SI Sportsman of the Year. He has a Time magazine Athlete of the Year. These are his accolades. LeBron James trophies can fill up my house. Okay, if we go to his achievements. Let's go to his achievements.
Jordan fan telling this man to keep going now. Hey. Let's stop playing with Brian's name, dog. I'm running out of arguments for Jordan now. No cap. I'm running out of them. LeBron gonna have a time in rings or something.
LeBron James has the most points and averages the most points as a teenager. And it's not going to be broken because the NBA does not allow people to come out of high school anymore. So until they actually break that rule back, LeBron's going to hold that record. He has the youngest, as far as all the milestones, 1,000, 2,000, all the way up. He's the youngest player to reach any one of those milestones as a player. He's a 4-time. He's a 4-time NBA champion. He won his conference 10 times, which is a tie with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He has the most playoff wins. He has the most 7-game series sweeps. He has the most playoff series wins out of the top 75 players in NBA history.
Go to Finals MVPs now.
He also has 3 Finals MVPs on 3 different teams. He's the only player to do that. He's also
4 altogether now.
He's also the only player with 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. If we want to dumb it down to 29,000 points, 9,000 rebounds, 9,000 assists, he's there. If we want to dumb it down even more to 28,000, 8,000, and 8,000, it's LeBron. And if we dumb it even lower, 27,000, 7,000, and 7,000, it's LeBron. LeBron's the only player to average a triple-double in the finals. LeBron's the only player to take 5 teams to the finals without a top 75 player. He's the only player to have 130-point games on 3 different teams. He's the only player with 500 double-doubles and a 100 triple-doubles. LeBron James is the only player to lead all players in the finals when it comes to stats and points, rebounds, assists in a 7-game series. Not even close. Nothing to be even close. He's only one of 2 players to have back-to-back MVPs on 2 separate teams. Only him and Kareem has ever done that. He's one of 3 players who have multiple Finals MVPs, multiple League MVPs, and multiple All-Star MVPs, which is him, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson. All right, these are LeBron James achievements. There's more. This is what all I can fit for
I
y'all.
can't even.
And then if we go to
Why
game
are you?
impact, this is my subjective aspect of my criteria. It's the game impact. None of this stuff I can measure. This is just what I believe. This is what I just come up with. Okay, no, this is my eye test exactly. And for y'all who said that I don't have an eye test or I don't agree with an eye test, I just told you won't like mine.
Stop playing with Bakari now. I see the same shit now. I'm a Jordan fan.
Now, when it comes to game impact, that's leadership, skill, your marketing and branding, your basketball IQ, and influence in the game. As far as leadership, LeBron is unselfish. The guy we all know about LeBron, he's just incredible when it comes to that. He's a humbled player. He's another guy that doesn't take his title or what he's been able to do, it doesn't go to his head too much. He takes accountability, okay, for what he does on the basketball court. He took accountability for the decision. He took accountability for 2011 finals. He took accountability for everything that went a part of his career because he manned up. That's what he does. And as far as his work ethic, LeBron James' work ethic is one of the best we've ever seen in NBA history. To play as long as he's played is because of his work ethic. So that takes up his leadership. If we go to skill, LeBron James can shoot, pass, dribble, plays defense. He has incredible court vision. He's 6'9", 250 plus. He's an athlete. He's a freak of nature, and he's durable. He's just durable. We all know LeBron James.
Most durable superstar ever.
We've all played basketball, and we've all twisted our ankle, and we've all sat for days with a swollen ankle, crying to our wives or girlfriends, whatever, because of a swollen ankle. Because this guy would twist his ankle in the first quarter and be playing in the second quarter. And then if we go to branding, listen, Michael Jordan is the number one branding guy when we talk about that. But when we go to what LeBron has done, he took control of his brand. LeBron James literally said, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to represent myself in this manner. He basically gave everybody the perfect social persona, right? We all know LeBron James don't never get caught in no drama, no issues, no nothing. He's like a good role model, which you would
took the hate and capitalized on it.
And you would want that from the face of your league, right? The guy who's the face of your league. He's also the top seller and marketer in the NBA. His jersey sales, his sneaker sales, it's up there. He's just incredible when it comes to marketing. LeBron's one. When it comes to branding, which is a very important part of an NBA player's career because the NBA always want to market their stars, that's very important. And then when we talk about his basketball IQ, okay, when we talk about game planning and game strategy, the things that LeBron knows on the basketball court, we've heard stories of LeBron telling players where they should be at on their own play. He's like, no, you're in the wrong spot. You should be over here. You should be setting the pick there. He has a phenomenal IQ. He's, as far as coaches that have gone up against him, they've all said the same thing about LeBron's IQ. He's one of the smartest players they've ever went up against. He knows the league history. He understands his placement in league history. He understands where he stands at in league history. He understands everything about the NBA and what it represents to be a basketball player. His court vision, I already mentioned that. And he's done all this without any true Hall of Fame coach in high school or in the pros because he didn't even go to college. So even if we want to say Spoelstra is going to be a Hall of Fame coach, majority of that is going to be because of LeBron James won him 2 championships. A little bit is going to be because of that. It's going to be because of that. And now it's his influence. LeBron James' influence on the basketball game in general is incredible. The fact that he changed the idea of high volume scoring, high volume shooter, shoot the ball over 3 players because it's only 5 seconds left to go and it's going to be me that's going to take the shot. He changed the game back to what it is today, which is team basketball, ball movement, spreading the floor, getting everybody involved. LeBron is the catalyst of that. He started that. He took that and made that what he wanted it to be. He was self-determined. Again, everybody wanted LeBron to be Michael. They wanted him to be Kobe. They wanted him to be Iverson. They wanted LeBron to be everybody else but what LeBron was, which was LeBron James. And he stayed to who he was, true to who he was, just a young black kid from Akron, Ohio. He stayed true to that. He never complained about none of that. He did what he was supposed to do, and he put that in the forefront. He put his family. We all know about his wife, his kids, his lifestyle, all of that. LeBron really stood true to who he was, and he didn't care what none of y'all thought. And then as far as player and team relation, LeBron changed how teams deal with players. Okay, there's no longer this idea that you're loyal to the team because you were drafted by me or none of this nonsense. LeBron said, listen, I am LeBron James. I am my own brand. I am a star. I am larger than the team. If the team wants me, they have to show me that I'm worthy of being on your roster or whatever it is that you want to do with your franchise. So LeBron changed how the NBA dealt with superstars in general. He changed the superstar. He revisioned superstars, brother. The man literally changed how we view superstars. You know, Kobe and Michael were loved, but how many of y'all would really want to hang out with Michael, really want to hang out with Kobe and think you're going to have a good time? We really
it depends on what you're into.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, if you was into playing
it depends on what you into, fam.
No, if you was playing basketball, right, you would love hanging out with Kobe because that's all Kobe did, right, was work out on his basketball game. But Kobe didn't. Like LeBron is somebody that we can literally say he's not an Uncle Tom, but he's not also like he's not a square. He you know, he listens to Migos. You'll catch him at a Jay-Z concert.
That don't mean you're not a square.
Somebody, come on, Trey.
No,
I'm just
rap in the 60s.
No, but Michael Jordan. Wait. Michael Jordan was listening to Michael Bolton when he was going to his games, bro. Stop it, bro. Come on, man.
I said the 60s. See, you've said Jordan. I'm talking about the 60s.
But in the 60s,
and Bill.
In the 60s,
see, there you go, saying Jordan.
No. In the 60s, Wilt and them, they were jamming to Sam Cooke. They were jamming to the Temptations. They were jamming to black culture. They
John Wall pregame music was R. Kelly, and he used to give motherfuckers 20 and 10.
But I'm just saying,
being real.
He changed the vision of what a superstar is supposed to be by being himself, by doing what he was, and staying true to himself. LeBron James is really one of those. Like he's a part of this generation. The little
some aspects, I give you that.
He's a part of that. And my last thing with his influence is player camaraderie. A lot of people have this myth that players never got along. They used to hate one another. But what LeBron has created is a love for the players that play the game of basketball. The fraternity of basketball players is a sacred thing. And LeBron took it to another level with the way he got along with players, the way
take it to another level. I don't think he created that though.
No, I'm not saying created. I'm just saying, but the idea is people don't think that people didn't get along, but LeBron James made it cool. He didn't care. Like I said, he made it seem like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't care if Chris Paul was the VP of President Association. He was cool with Carmelo Anthony. He's going to be cool with Kevin Durant. You know, him and Luka the other day, they were smiling after the game. It's like he is fond with all the players. They made everybody wants to see everybody eat and grow. Nobody's sitting there being envious of one another. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
does that take away from the league though? The competitiveness though?
All right. So Devontae, we're gonna go in order, brother. We're gonna go in order. So
I got you.
I state what I stated. Go ahead, Ralph. You get a chance to start it off. Go ahead, brother.
All right. As far as your criteria and everything, those are all facts. It's no denying of it. It's like Craig stated. It's like he performed for a long time, a period at a high level, which is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying as far as that. And like I wouldn't put that. I don't put game like impact. I don't put that into my criteria because I'm more so of what did you do on the court and what did you accomplish. That's really my thing. And I don't think everybody really hated each other back then. It was just on the court they were like, "Yo, you my enemy, and I'm gonna take you down." But you know, after the game, yeah, we could chill out because I mean, I heard Vernon Maxwell say like after the game, him and Jordan was out to eat. You know, I don't think it was. I mean, they wasn't like hating each other off the court. There were players hanging around with each other.
Yeah, more brother.
It's like battle rap.
And see, the reason why you see it more is because of the social media era. Back then, you didn't have that, so we can. I mean, I hear stories of they hanging out after the game or anything. It's just that once they got on the court, yeah, they would want to kill you. You know, they went to war. That's how it was.
All right. So, Anthony, you know you're gonna come up next. Jack, I appreciate you for joining the show, brother. You came on late, so you're gonna have to go last. So we're gonna let the whole panel go through, and then Jack, you'll come through and you'll speak and you'll drop your bombs. I know you wanted to come on last week, and you're ready. So, Anthony, go ahead, brother. Critique my criteria, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, you put in the work, you laid out your ideas. I mean, I can't really, you know what I'm saying, unless I put that same energy and effort in to match, have a criteria as in-depth as yours to challenge it. I mean, I really don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? You stated nothing but fact. You stuck to, you know what I'm saying? You just stuck to truth.
So is he better than Kareem?
Who is Jordan better than Kareem?
No, is LeBron better than Kareem now? After my criteria?
Not till he passes. When he passes,
hell yeah. I answer for him. Hell yeah.
I got you.
But due to the fact that the argument is really between Jordan and LeBron, you know what I'm saying? I still got, you know, LeBron over Jordan. But the reason why I have impact in my in my criteria is because when you comparing all great players, of course, it's a given. You got to have the stats to even be in the conversation. You got to have the accolades to be in the conversation. But when you measure, just like Bulls fans talk about Jordan and his killer instinct, and that's one of those intangibles. Well, when we talk about impact, you can actually measure impact. All you got to do is see how the team fared without the player in their prime. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, I also told people to take into consideration that part of the Bulls' success without Jordan had to do with the rest of the league not being that great too. So on top of them being a nice team, a decent team, they were a solid team for that era. They, if you comparing that team outside of their era, whether it be in the 80s or even in the 2010s, because I say even in the early 2000s kind of suffered from modern expansion as well. Because you had some teams in the early 2000s going to the finals with one Hall of Fame on their roster. You just didn't see as many as in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? The 90s had way too many. So
we know you do not like the 90s. We know you do not like the 90s.
He hates the 90s, bro.
Your whole thing about LeBron and his whole rebuttal.
Nah, that's my dog, though. My fault, Anthony. He hates the 90s, though. That's my dog, though.
We going over time, though. We going over time, so let's let everybody get it, Anthony.
Well, I should have asked. I mean, are we giving our closing statements? Like, what's going on? Because
we gonna get
criteria. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no, I got you. We gonna get off soon, to be honest with you. But we're gonna let everybody speak on my criteria first, and then I'm gonna rebuttal, and we can get out of here. But go ahead, Devontae. Go ahead, Devontae.
I got you.
Yeah, I like your criteria. It's good. It fits your guy. It does. I still think Wilt is better. I think Wilt's the best of all time. But I do think LeBron and Mike is even. But I will nod towards LeBron overall. And there you go. Simple as that.
Gotcha. All right, Craig, go ahead, Craig.
I mean, it just proves my point that if you think LeBron is the GOAT, it's because he played longer. That's because everything you have up here is based on because he played longer. Every reason I say Jordan is the GOAT is not having to do because he played 15 seasons. That's the difference.
Well, okay, I'm gonna rebuttal to that. Go ahead, Devontae, your turn, brother. Go ahead.
On me?
No, Devontae. Yeah, Devontae, it's your turn, but yeah, Devontae with the R.
Okay. Man, hey.
That's Cameron with a message.
Yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
About all that time. Now his camera want to mess up.
Yeah. Well, listen, y'all. Listen, you guys got to get to a nice spot, get good internet. We can't control where you guys get your internet or where you're accessing your internet from.
Right.
So we actually.
But I was saying, Craig, man, it's been Kareem played 20 years just like LeBron. He ain't did what LeBron did, man. I'm a Jordan fan, Jordan fanatic. I give LeBron his props. He my number 2 all time behind Jordan. Because I go off what they did when they played. That's what I'm saying. They go off what they did when they. I go off what they did when they played, bro.
All right, so let me get to this. So now again, that what Ralph said about me having the impact part, right? Again, I told you guys that is actually my subjective part. That is my bias part. These are things that I cannot measure at all.
Now,
but we have done a unbiased criteria or a non-biased criteria where I removed the in-game impact part. And when I went to just the stats and accolades, okay, and I did that and I measured everything. And this is the only thing where I would give Devontae some credit on is that my bias list, my top 5 is LeBron, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic, and Russell, right?
Right.
But when I did my non-biased list and when I took away all the game impact, the stuff that I can't measure and stuff like that, I just measured them by what they did. And I gave Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain the blocks and steals. I didn't give him the extra accolades. For all
I see what you did.
Teams, right? But when I did that, the top 5 went from being it was LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Bill Russell. So, but if I would have gave Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain the amount of first all-team defensive teams and the defensive teams they would have made and defensive players of the year, they probably would have jumped higher, and Wilt Chamberlain would have been the one. But again, those awards are already subjective as is, so I didn't really add that to it when I did the unbiased list. But for me, like I tell you guys, everybody has their biases. We all have our biases.
Right.
So when you bring up your biases, you just gotta stand 10 toes down, like we always tell people. So where I come in at with my game impact is because like I feel like we all love a player because of what they can do on the basketball court. We all like basketball differently. I like rebounding. I like a hustler. I like somebody that's gonna go out there and do whatever it takes to win. And I feel like LeBron kind of fits that mold. And that's why I like Bill Russell. That's why I like Bill Chamberlain. These guys did whatever it took to win the game of basketball.
All right.
So that's how the game impact part falls into it. But like, like I said, man, at the end of the day, when you if you accumulate everything a player did, including playing more games, yes, Craig, playing more games matter. If you play more games,
some arguments.
It is a benefit to you. It's a disadvantage for those who didn't. But like for some cases, like Bird and Magic couldn't play the 13, 14, 15 seasons because they were hurt. They had injuries. So that's a different subject. Jordan only played 15 seasons because he retired twice, because he quit twice. Jordan's career spanned 20 years, but he was
there was a reason.
Exactly. So he himself holding to say that we should only hold him for that minimum amount is, to me, it's just being biased completely towards Jordan.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Trey.
Okay, you said, did you say Magic couldn't play 13 years or something like that? Did you just say that?
I'm saying his career ended in 91 and then he played in 95, 96. So he has what, 12, 13 years?
I'm saying that you say he couldn't play.
Yeah, he couldn't play that long.
Yeah, he couldn't play.
Because he was still MVP.
He could have played.
Are you saying that? Whoa. Are you saying it to the bait? Are you trying to say that he couldn't play? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, he couldn't play. He couldn't play the game of basketball. He had to. His career ended because he
was retired.
No, I'm saying take that off. I'm saying take away the HIV. Are you saying it on behalf of that?
Yeah, he could have played longer if he didn't have that.
I'm saying, yeah, if he doesn't have
that's what. Okay, I get you now. I know that. That's what I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying. Like if Bird doesn't hurt his back, he can play a little bit longer. He can play past 92.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But the difference with Jordan is Jordan, even with his 15 years and his 1,000 games,
Jordan chose to play 15 years.
And he
didn't choose to play 15 years.
Yeah, he chose to play.
He did.
He left the game on purpose.
He left the game twice on top.
He
left the game
twice on top.
He left twice. What on what?
On top. He left on top, but he shouldn't have left the game on top if
he was on top of the mountain. He was on top of the mountain because nobody knocked him down.
So am I too biased by saying that you don't get credit for quitting on top? You should.
No, you don't. You don't at all.
Quitting retirement is two different things, man.
But that's your argument. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm just
Bron
saying.
Didn't quit.
I'm just saying for those that
Jordan didn't quit.
No, because when Kareem,
that's a reaching argument, man.
Because Kareem plays 20 seasons, he amounts a lot. Remember, Kareem.
Okay, he stopped playing then. He stopped playing 3
times.
Retired. All right, come on, now. It's time to let him talk. Come on, Devontae.
Listen, Kareem won like 3-4 championships his last like 4 or 5 years. If Kareem plays 15 seasons, he doesn't have 6 championships. Yeah. So we can't limit it to Jordan. Jordan is not the standard of what's considered as the fact of making it where now for everything past Jordan is longevity. Jordan playing 1,000 games is longevity, and Jordan fans don't want to accept that. But it's no one's fault that Jordan quit for 3 years. He should have played, especially in 99. Okay. He should have played 99, 2000, and 2001.
No one thinks Jordan's the GOAT.
I believe the Spurs would have beat them in 99 too.
I've been real quiet.
Okay.
Like, go ahead, Ralph. No, Ralph, we gave everybody a chance. Don't do that, Ralph. It's my turn. It's my turn. It was my turn. But go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead.
I mean, dang, I forgot again. What was the last thing you said, AB?
About him quitting, about he should have played more years. He should have played his seasons.
Do you know after 93 why he left?
Because he got.
Why did he leave, Ralph?
Okay.
I'm asking you. Do you know?
Okay. Do you want my exposer answer or do you want just Ajani's answer? Because I got 2.
Get both, man.
Okay.
Man,
this is why. First of all, he quit because he got caught gambling. So he said, "I'm done. I'm just going to retire before y'all suspend me." If we don't want to agree to that because there's no real evidence of that, Michael Jordan quit the game of basketball for what he said it was. He was tired of being the face of the league. He was scrutinized too much. He couldn't handle the pressure. Just like he said, I couldn't play basketball in a Twitter era because there's too much people in my business. Like I told you, that's what made they revision LeBron. LeBron changed all that. That's what I'm saying. LeBron changed all that. LeBron showed you that he can show you who he is outside of basketball and inside of basketball. Jordan only wanted us to see what Nike and Gatorade wanted us to see of him, and that was it. So he quit because of that. He quit because of that.
I'm only taking Jordan's word.
Brian also showed he can respond too.
Jordan said that he quit because he was exhausted and he didn't want to play no more. And he said this prior to his father passing away.
What?
He also said
what else he said?
Challenged.
What else he said, Brandon? You're leaving things out.
What?
He said what Anthony says. There's no competition. That's what he said. What Anthony said. There's no competition.
Like he wasn't being, was no longer being challenged.
That's how he was. I'm saying that too. I'm the best player in the world. I'm gonna say everybody trash.
So let me ask you a question. So should LeBron retire? Should LeBron retire now because the Lakers are not going to
tell
get him a
LeBron
championship
3 so he could retire at least one time.
No, because what about 99? Because y'all don't want to talk about 99. Jordan
quit
because he
we know why. I mean,
that's retired, man. Stop saying
Jordan quit because
he
retired. He wasn't going to bring Pippen back, and he was not going to play unless Pippen was on that.
Okay, let me ask y'all something. Let me ask all y'all something.
Yeah, he's 35.
I got a teammate that's helped help me win 6 championships. Why would I want to lose? Why would I want to lose my teammate?
Well, how are you losing as the GOAT? How are you losing as the GOAT? How are you losing as the GOAT?
Answer my question, man. Why would I lose my teammate or my coach if we're winning? We haven't lost the championship. We haven't lost the championship. Why would you want to get rid of my coach and my teammate, man?
Because Michael Jordan is the greatest player, because he's the greatest player that ever played the game, and the management was actually trying to keep his team going, and you're not going to pay Scottie Pippen for averaging 16 points per game. You don't even want to pay him for averaging 16 points per game.
He didn't want to bring Phil back. That's why it started.
In other words, if it ain't broke,
and then Scotty had something to do with
it. Wasn't broke. He built 3 different.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Why would they want to break something that was out that wasn't breaking?
Because I'm not paying Scottie Pippen because I'm not paying Scottie Pippen $100 million.
Get paid, bro.
He didn't want to pay them because they was old.
Exactly. I'm not paying Rodman no more. I'm gonna get rid of Phil Jackson because
Scotty signed a contract they told him not to sign.
He wasn't saying anything about the money. Rodman didn't say anything.
I mean, Jerry Krause would have put a team on the floor that would help compete because he did it for 10 straight years.
Okay.
He was going to put a team on the floor. Jordan chose to quit that year because he didn't have what he wanted.
Because he doesn't like a challenge.
When Cleveland traded away,
would they even have still 6 championships without Michael Jordan?
Who knows? When Cleveland traded Kyrie Irving, did not quit. He took that team to the finals.
Well, what did they get back though? They got back a lot of decent assets.
Pippen, Michael Jordan quit. Simple as that.
Trey, you just sat here and said that why would you get rid of the guy that helped you win 6 championships, and now you're gonna sit here and say Michael Jordan won a championship with?
No, I said help him. My point is this. My point is this, Johnny. Johnny, my point is this. They don't even get to that. They don't even get Pippen without Jordan, man.
Why? You lying? You're lying.
Are you serious?
Yes, because I'm going to tell you something.
Does he become a fool without them even having Michael Jordan? Without them getting Michael Jordan, do they have it? Do they even get Pippen at all?
Michael Jordan did not want them to even trade for Scottie Pippen.
That's not what I'm saying. I understand all that. What I'm saying is, do they get Scottie Pippen if they don't draft Jordan in '84? Do you think they even get Pippen? Do they trade for Pippen in the '87 draft?
Yes, because they can get Scottie Pippen as a 5th.
That means Jordan would have got what he always wanted.
They get Scottie Pippen not because they got Listen, they don't get Scottie Pippen because they got Michael Jordan. They get Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen was one of the best players in that draft. Stop it, y'all.
That's not what I said.
No, you're not saying nothing.
Jordan wanted to rebound though for years.
All you're saying is that Scottie Pippen and Jerry Krause were great to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan quit because he couldn't have them.
Wait. So Trey, why do you think the Bulls would not have got Scottie Pippen?
Say it again.
Why do you think the Bulls would not have got Scottie Pippen if it wasn't for Jordan?
Come on, man. You got Jordan who's doing all this spectacular stuff. And then why not trade for Scottie Pippen? I mean, think about it. Would they win with Olin? What's his name? Olin Polynice?
Yeah. I don't even know if that. Why would the Bulls not have drafted or traded for Scottie Pippen because Jordan was not on the team? Like, why would they just say we don't want Scottie Pippen now? If Jordan was on the team. That's what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I didn't say that.
Okay, I could have sworn that's what you said.
No, that's not what I said. I said they wouldn't have tried to trade for him. I didn't say they were like, "Oh, I don't want Scottie Pippen because we ain't got Michael Jordan." That's not what I said.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying they only traded for Scottie Pippen because they had Michael Jordan?
To give Michael Jordan some help, yeah.
So if they didn't have Michael Jordan, they would not have traded for Scottie Pippen.
Olin Polynice was ranked higher than Scottie at that
time. Are you
man.
saying that they would have had a better record, so they didn't need Scottie Pippen? Like I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I think if Jerry Krause he saw Scottie, he's been recruiting Scottie, and he saw how good Scottie was, and he was willing to trade up for him. He would have did the same thing with or without Michael Jordan.
I just don't think he'd have been a Bull if Jordan wasn't there. I just don't.
How if Jordan didn't want to draft him?
Exactly.
No, I'm not talking about Jordan.
The reason Jordan didn't like Jerry Krause is because Jerry Krause was going against a lot of Jordan words. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't say Jordan a lot. I never said that. I never said that Jordan. I never said Jordan wanted Pippen. What I said was, I don't think they don't trade for Jordan. They don't trade for Pippen if they don't have a Michael Jordan type of player. That's what I'm saying.
But why did they select Scottie Pippen as the player?
I get what you're saying.
Why did they select Scottie Pippen? Why was it Scottie Pippen the player they needed for Michael Jordan? What is it that they saw in Scottie Pippen that was like, okay, this is the guy that we need to get with Michael Jordan?
I guess they seen a stretch three that could defend.
Don't guess. I don't need guesses. We need answers.
Yeah, a stretch three that can defend.
So Scottie was the only stretch three. You have to trade up for that.
That's not what I said.
No, I'm asking you.
I didn't say he was the only one.
But that's what. So why? But why is it Scottie Pippen? Because if he's not the only one, then that can't be the reason.
He's the best one. He's saying.
Look at the results.
I mean, he never played a game in NBA, so how was he the best one?
I didn't say
according to
the draft. That's not what I said, man.
The Bulls.
I'm talking about what Ralph said that.
The Bulls.
Oh, my bad.
The Bulls traded Olin Polynice and got Scottie Pippen plus another first-round draft pick in the '89 draft, which ended up getting them B.J. Armstrong. The reason that they made that move was because it made the Bulls a better team. And just like Brandon stated earlier, Jerry Krause had several times throughout Jordan's career made the Bulls a better team. So even after 99, if Jordan really wanted to play basketball, he would have stayed playing basketball and they would have gave him a team like LeBron's doing now, waiting for the Lakers to get him a team to help him continue to win late in his career.
It didn't make any sense.
Scottie thought about leaving. Dennis didn't think about leaving.
You're right. You're right. You're right, Ralph. It doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because the Michael Jordan brand is built on winning. And if we're watching Michael Jordan lose with his Jordans on, you can't sell 3 billion sneakers a year because Jordan is losing with Jordans on. That's why. That's what Jordan's career has always been predicated on what he can do because he's a billionaire off of his sneaker sales and his marketing. It's always been about Michael Jordan first. Always.
No, Jerry Krause wanted. He didn't want to sign Phil. He didn't want to sign Scottie Pippen. Jordan's like, why are we gonna break up this team?
Jordan didn't want
to this is what he said. He said he didn't care if they went 82-0. He was not gonna re-sign Phil. He wasn't gonna re-sign Scottie. So why would I want to stay if they're gonna re-sign the best player?
You know why he did that, right? And you know why he did that, right?
Why?
Because Michael Jordan had the Bulls handcuffed for 3 years. They couldn't trade. He was going to trade Scottie Pippen in '97. Michael Jordan said, "You do that, I quit."
I know that. I knew about that.
They damn near couldn't pay Scottie though because they were paying Jordan all that money.
Wait, he was already setting the Bulls up for the 2000s. But Michael Jordan.
You talking about the money, man? I ain't talking about the money.
I'm talking about Jerry Krause making the Bulls a contender no matter what Michael Jordan wanted. No, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ralph.
Go ahead, Ralph. I promise I ain't been to cut you off, bro.
Go on, Ralph.
So what I was stating is, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Jerry Krause did not want to re-sign Phil. He didn't want to sign Scottie. Jordan's like, we just won the championship. Why don't we run it back? If you're not going to run it back, then nah, I'm not going to play.
That's quitting.
Go ahead, Ralph. Keep going.
The thing is, it's like you just win a championship.
And he argued about that.
You don't want to run it back. I mean, why would I? Yeah, I'm a retired since you don't want to bring the same team back.
So then let me ask y'all a question. So why y'all get mad at LeBron when he left Cleveland?
It became Quinn when he came back with the Wizards.
They had the best record in the league. The fans was talking about him all season long for 2 straight years.
Let me answer that.
Go ahead,
I got a great answer to that. I never knocked him for going to Miami. What I knock is the people that downplay winning championships and do about the stat, because now it's all about the record. Now you don't hear nothing about championships no more. And like I said, he never went to Miami to be the all-time leading scorer. He never went to Miami to be a rebound to get 10,000 rebounds. He went to Miami to win. So you have to put the winning over the stats.
And he won 4 championships. He won 4 NBA championships. That's what I'm saying. Why does the 4 NBA champions seem like he didn't win?
He didn't win.
Nobody said he won it more than anybody in his era.
I would like to
go ahead and say it.
For the GOAT debate, he ain't winning enough.
I would like to interject at the moment.
I'm sorry.
I've been quiet for almost 30 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, what I like to say is this. Now, Craig, on one hand, you will say that it's all about what a player did in their era, okay, in which that's totally fine. But y'all in the same note will defend Jordan and saying he was well within his right to retire because the Bulls wouldn't bring back the team that he wanted. But y'all are knock LeBron for going, leaving and playing, putting himself in a better situation to win.
I just said I didn't knock him.
Okay.
I just said
they were winning. They had the best record and lost.
Okay, so my point is that because this Anthony, I
didn't even make the finals.
Because what if he's not in Cleveland in 2004? What if he's with the Heat? What if the Heat got the number 1 pick, and they would have ended up getting Shaq the way Dwayne Wade got? They would have won like 7 championships. He would have been. That's what I'm saying. LeBron James did not have the benefit of having a Jerry Krause, who was getting drafted, and mind you, he didn't have the benefit of having lottery picks throughout the 80s, having the top 10 picks, picking up Grant and Pippen in the same draft, picking up Stacey King in the top 10, picking up Oakley in the top 10.
And
trading Oakley.
Y'all say
what does Stacey King
He
do
had
for
the luxury of picking
What does
veterans.
Stacey King do for
What
does Stacey King do for his career?
He
had the luxury of picking established players.
Listen, they trade Oakley for Cartwright, which is a move that that Jordan did not want to happen.
They helped him win.
And Cartwright helped them win 3 championships. They draft Kukoc with their only pick in 1990, and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are upset about that.
They were mad. Yeah, they were mad.
I agree with that. Yeah, they were mad.
LeBron gets drafted.
But they ain't pro.
No, because we have to bring facts up, man, when we start talking like this. Because when LeBron gets drafted in 2003 and he's on the team, this team literally gets into the playoffs after 3 years he's in the league. They're in the finals after his 4th NBA season.
With the pieces added, use context.
With losing,
and they traded away the 3 best players.
They lost Darius Miles. They lost
Boozer and Ricky Davis.
2007.
And they still was the top 5 defense, man. They were still top 5 defense.
I don't want to hear that. They have that.
Let them go.
Listen, LeBron James in 2007 takes a team to the NBA Finals. Not only did the Cleveland Cavaliers trade their 1st-round draft pick over to Boston Celtics for a player named Jerry Wells, there was a bunch of players available to be traded for that offseason. Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen end up on Boston with the Cleveland Cavaliers 1st-round draft picks. Okay,
he's not lying.
Okay.
He's lying about that.
Wait.
But
hold on. I am not done.
All right, Bakar.
Go ahead. No.
It's not about being my show. It's about dropping facts. It's about being. It's like I say, we're trying to be objective here. We're not. You guys are not trying to be objective because you crying about Michael Jordan not having his players because he doesn't have his players. So you tell me Michael Jordan can't win with Ron Artest? He can't win with Elton Brand? He can't win with Jamal Crawford?
Your version of them, Kenny.
No, that's who the Bulls ended up drafting in '99.
You bring up somebody from 2000 with Jordan when he played.
Again, wait a minute.
They wouldn't have had those picks if Jordan was there, though.
No, they are because Jordan's losing. They admitted it. Jordan's losing. Jordan's not taking the Bulls anywhere.
Why?
No, he's not winning the championship. That's what I say.
He's not winning the championship. They're probably going to the playoffs or whatever. They're just not winning championships.
What is the Bulls' record in 1999 with Michael Jordan, without Scottie Pippen, without Rodman, without all of that team, with Randy Brown?
In 1999, he didn't play.
It was terrible.
It was a shortened season, so it was still bad. But
and then he didn't play.
What seed will the Bulls be?
Oh, what? Yo, I said they would have lost to the Spurs in '99. The dynasty was over in '99.
It's like every LeBron teammate is trash compared to
They didn't have no
Bulls.
big
Like,
man.
the only players that's better than the Bulls team is LeBron opponents. That's the only team. That's the only players in today's era that y'all say is better than is LeBron opponents. His teammates y'all always say is trash.
Lies.
Draft picks. It doesn't matter how you become a teammate.
Yeah, hey,
They lose to the Spurs in the finals in '99. The era is over. Dynasty is over. It's done with.
Anthony finish because he didn't even get to finish what he was saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, not only that, when y'all go to Jordan fans, you'll go to speaking on your harp on who LeBron has played with. Even in LeBron's 20 seasons in the NBA, he still hasn't had the type of help Jordan had. Jordan in 2 seasons, in 2 of his 3-peats, he had 2, and was in '96 he had 2 players that were first team all defense. In '93 he had 2 players that was all defense, and one of them was second. Both was all defense. One was first team, the other was second team. Okay.
So find me a teammate that averaged 25 in the finals that Jordan had.
Y'all
get use many awards and it helps for y'all. And then y'all use
stats to help for y'all in the other thing. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Y'all swear this era so much better.
Hold on, let me finish. In the '90s, better teams that won were the teams that could defend, not the teams that played at a higher pace. Okay. So when you're talking about players playing today, they play the game at a higher pace. So you're going to need more scorers. Back then, you needed defenders because it was individual defending. Today is team defending. So you can take a superstar out by ganging up on them. Couldn't do that in the '90s because that was illegal. Okay,
so that's why he played with 3
first round picks. About Jordan having
you could double team it back then.
Game score. Now back then, the teams that won go look
got double teamed all the time.
Yeah, in the '90s, you could double team, bro.
If you won on the glass,
yeah, you could double team.
If you won the rebound battle, okay,
and like
you
I
had
said,
a chance to win it, okay. So I don't want to hear none of that.
That's still today.
It's a team sport. Y'all always say
still today. If you got a rebound battle, you have a better chance of winning. Get more possessions.
That's what it's about.
The teams today that are winning are teams that can score flat out, score better. I don't care how you put it.
You get more possessions when you rebound more, man.
Exactly. So when you're playing at a slower pace, guess what? Rebounds matter.
It matters at a faster pace too.
Now, at the end of the day, you guys want to tell me.
What are we talking about here? I get what you're saying.
Craig,
it can work both ways, though.
Craig, answer this question for me, Craig.
I get what you're saying, though, Anthony.
Craig, answer this question for me. What player that LeBron played with is going to average 25 points per game playing with Michael Jordan?
None.
Nobody. Kyrie took all the damn shots.
Where's Kyrie's gonna get 25? Where's Kyrie's gonna get 25 points?
Kyrie's a Chuck, and we all know this.
How?
He's not gonna be a Chuck with Jordan. Jordan gonna put that in check.
Jordan. That's what I don't understand.
That's why Jerry Stackhouse didn't like playing with Jordan.
Had a season when he averaged 20 with Jordan. You telling me Kyrie can't get 5 more points than that?
No, not taking 15 shots per game. No.
So Kyrie, who's a better shooter, better scorer, can't get 5 more points.
Yes, you know why? Because let me tell you something. How many shots per game do you think Kyrie took when he was averaging 25 points per game in the finals?
About 18, 17.
Scottie Pippen never averaged that with Michael Jordan. If Scottie Pippen gets the 18 that you're talking about, he's going to average the 25 points per game.
Scottie's not a scorer.
What did he average that? What did he average without Michael Jordan?
He's not a scorer.
He averaged 22.5 points per game.
I'm talking about the shots.
But he was still taking 16.
Still didn't want him taking the last shot.
Jordan.
Let's go ahead and note that.
Scottie Pippen's not taking 18, 19 shots per game. He doesn't do that. That's not what
he was taking 16 to 17. That's 2 shots less.
Still didn't want him taking the last shot.
Kyrie efficiency, 2 more shots. You can get 4 points.
All right. Okay. Yes. The 2 shots you're talking about and less is an extra 2 points. So it goes from 22 to 24. That's what I'm saying. And if he gets fouled, it's an extra 25. He's averaging what Kyrie's averaging, but shooting the same amount. But
he's not efficient for him to shoot volume like Kyrie.
Nobody in the 90s was that efficient, bro. That's what you understand. That's what Anthony keeps trying to explain to y'all. Scottie Pippen was still better than the second best player, sometimes better than the best player on the other team.
So he was better than
Listen, you guys, you name me the player that LeBron. You name me the player that LeBron James played with that was an all-star, all-NBA, and all-defensive player the same year 5 times.
You can't.
You got me there. You fought me up there.
Long enough to have. He never played with a superstar 5 years.
You got me there
to do that.
It doesn't matter. He never.
Yes,
it
it
doesn't
does
matter. He doesn't have one that has 4.
Because the same way I say Scottie Pippen and all this, he had Scottie Pippen 3 different times with 4 different players.
He doesn't have a teammate that done it 4 times. He don't have a teammate
because he don't play with them more than them.
I say Mike stayed down.
Yes, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Craig.
How can you want someone to get 5 defensive teams if I'm only going to play with you for 3 years? I don't care what you do the next year.
They don't even have, but they don't have 3 defensive teams.
Mike and Scottie played together 10 years.
LeBron James has 2 teammates that have an all defensive selection. They did it once each. That's it. Scottie Pippen alone did more than that. And then we're talking about Rodman and we're talking about Horace Grant.
Could do the all defense. We can do the accolades with the teammates, but we can use the stats against the players because that's all you've been saying is the numbers don't lie.
No. We bring up the stats.
Mike wasn't hopping teams now.
We bring
up the stats.
If he could go and play with a player,
I see what you're saying. Mike wasn't hopping teams.
No. Listen, again, that's another thing that y'all have created, right? Y'all have created such a narrative.
It happened.
No, it's false.
No, he didn't.
NBA player loyalty is a false. It is a false narrative. Loyalty to an NBA team is a false narrative. It has always been a false narrative. We just name players that traded teams well before Michael Jordan and them, bro.
They were traded.
No, I never said nothing about him going to Miami, but y'all make it seem like he went to Miami to rebound because all y'all put emphasis on is the stats and not
Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard thinks staying in Portland Trailblazer is more important than winning a championship because y'all said loyalty is more important than championship.
Don't say y'all.
What about Dirk Nowitzki?
Oh, shit.
Hold on.
Dirk Nowitzki?
I got a question.
What about Dirk NBA? Always been about that. The team. Like,
go ahead, Durante. Go ahead, man.
So we fought in Jordan for quote unquote quitting 2 times, but we can't fault LeBron for wanting to leave and not stick it out with certain players because Mike and Scottie played together 10 years. Come on now.
Yeah, y'all kill y'all.
So we gonna say, all right, fuck the fact that LeBron wanted to hop teams and not stick it out with certain teammates who were that elite defensively.
Who was that elite defensively in Cleveland?
So hold on. So hold on. Now this is my argument right here. Just because you're a superstar player doesn't mean you can win championships together.
Okay, you get through the same question like 3 times. I'm going to reply right now. I want to be the first reply while I still have the thoughts.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. I respect you.
First of all, when you look at the landscape of when LeBron went to Cleveland, okay, you look at the landscape, the teams he was looking at. First of all, in the East, you had Boston. Who did Boston have on that team? If you look at that Boston team,
when LeBron went to Cleveland, nobody. What time are you talking about?
Let me talk long enough.
You're gonna bring up 1 year.
Okay, now that Boston team. If you compare that Boston team to anybody Jordan's Bulls played in the East after 91, nobody in the East compares to that Boston team. But y'all still not LeBron for going to Miami when all he was trying to do was get teammates to think about it. And when he was his first 7 years in Cleveland, didn't have a Hall of Fame teammate, didn't have a perennial All-Star, didn't have anybody.
Can I ask you a question?
But Jordan had all of that though, and you all.
May I ask you a question?
So then you all overlook it, but I'm not finished.
Yeah, 1 All-Star Jordan had, and
Jordan had all that when he broke his
Jordan did the Bad Boy Pistons in '91.
You're not gonna let me
the Bad Boy Pistons in '91.
You're not gonna let me finish.
Let Ann talk. Are you guys about to be in the weight room?
Jordan only had 1 All-Star, but I'm telling y'all, he also won an expansion era. So of course, if you're in an expansion era, you don't need a whole lot to win around you. Especially
how many other guys did?
Don't let me finish. And especially you had guys around here that went to the finals with less. Clyde Drexler went to the finals with less. Patrick Ewing went to the finals with less. Shaquille O'Neal went to the finals with less. Hakeem Olajuwon went to the finals with less. In that same decade, in '94.
Okay, look at the '98 Bulls. They went to the finals with less.
Less who?
Excuse me.
Look at the '98 Bulls. Look at the scoring.
They got 4 Hall of Famers.
The sport, Jordan had the lowest score. They had the lowest supporting cast, dog. What are you talking about?
I want to make this statement. Go ahead, Craig.
I don't even know.
All right, y'all the same people. Y'all the same people that say that all Jordan need was Pippen to win. But at the same
y'all say that.
The competition.
No, the media says that.
Look at it right here. Hold on, wait. Look at it right here. It's simple and plain.
He won 6 rings with the man.
Now you want to talk about the media?
Look at the graph. These are the teams that Michael Jordan faced in the playoffs that had two first ballot Hall of Famers on them. That's it. And he had Scottie Pippen to win against teams that didn't have. Michael Jordan had the most.
He had two others too.
Jordan
I want y'all to do this. Hey, Johnny.
Anybody.
Johnny.
The bad boys are still the bad boys in 91.
Hey, Johnny, pull up the 93 Suns. Pull up the stats for the 93 Suns in the finals.
Magic was still MVP status in 91. I'm just saying.
Again,
they still had Worthy. I know it's a running narrative that Worthy didn't play in the finals. He played 4 games in the finals.
In 1991, the Bulls had one.
Yeah, he sat out when the series was over.
Game 5 when they got their ass whooped.
Yeah. Okay, listen.
The series was done. That's why they sat out. That's why Aiden had to do it.
Come on, man.
Listen, y'all not gonna start lying on Michael Jordan here. They gotta stop.
We're not lying on him.
Wait. They didn't play game 5. They didn't play the whole series. They missed game 5.
The Lakers had only 2 All-NBA players on their team. The Bulls
and they beat the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers had the best record in the NBA.
Let me say something. I've been quiet too. All right, just naming Hall of Famers on these teams doesn't make it a great championship team.
What now? What did I say earlier?
Yeah,
what have I said over
agree
and
with
over?
You. If that's hold on, let me finish. No,
come on, man.
Stop. I've been patient.
No,
come on, man.
Hall of Famers, man. You guys are discrediting first ballot Hall of Famers. You cannot come
Nobody's discrediting first ballot Hall of Famers, man.
You cannot come on Go James Kingdom and tell us
y'all are using that argument against Jordan. Y'all are using that argument against Jordan.
Stop that. You are not going to come on Go James Kingdom and say first ballot Hall of Famers do not matter.
I can't finish.
Nobody said that, man. Why you get all emotional, man?
You're breaking your own rule. You're breaking your own rule. I've been patient. I've been patient.
I love it, man.
All right, everybody.
Don't discredit first ballot Hall of Famers because Michael Jordan.
Nobody's discrediting, man.
I'm not discrediting nothing.
Nobody's discrediting.
I'm not discrediting anything. I'm not.
You shouldn't use it against Michael Jordan. If you want to discredit first ballot Hall of Famers, don't use it against Michael Jordan.
All right,
let Ralph speak, y'all.
Let Ralph get his point across. Go.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Brandon. What I'm stating is, if that's the case, Portland had 2. They had a 10-man roster that could start on any team when they played that Lakers team. If that was the case, if we're going to be naming players, naming Hall of Fame players, they're Hall of Fame. I'm not discrediting them. But naming, this team has this amount, this team has amount. If that was the case, the Lakers shouldn't have won against Portland, and Isaiah shouldn't have smoked the Lakers.
Come on now.
It's about the team competition. If we're going to say competition, you say the team, not the individual players, because it's not 1-on-1, it's not 2-on-2.
Let me tap in at the rail.
Go ahead, Trey.
Okay. Y'all talk about James Worthy and Byron Scott getting hurt in 91. Okay. They played that same team that y'all say didn't have Kareem and didn't have James Worthy in game 5 and all this other stuff. They beat Portland in 91 in 6 in the Western Conference Finals. Who had the best record in the league in 91? It was Portland. They had 63 games and lost 19. The Lakers were 61-21 and they beat them in 6. They could have beat the Bulls. I don't want to hear it, man.
Come on now.
They could have beat the Bulls. They just didn't beat them. Magic was
Didn't they steal game 1 for the Bulls?
He was 19-7-13. The year before that, he was league MVP. So you can't tell me he wasn't still playing that up.
Bulls won 4 games straight now.
Portland Trailblazers have 2 all-defensive selected players and
they had the best record in the league, man. Stop. And then they made the finals the year before and after. Stop.
See? Now you want to bring up
they made the finals in 90 and 92.
I believe Buck Williams is on the all-defense team.
Stuff against the teammates, but we can't use it against the players we comparing the GOAT debate.
Clyde Drexler was all NBA.
Mention that, like, come on. Y'all want to see what the teammates have just to bring up the player, but if we talk about the players, to stick to the players. Why The same amount of.
I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that, Craig, but y'all don't like all NBA.
Don't say y'all. I've been quiet for the last 10 minutes. Letting y'all go on.
Y'all don't like all NBA and all defensive selections because it kills your whole entire argument.
How?
Yes,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, man. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Let me explain why.
Jordan had that with him.
Win the championship and win the score. You make no sense, man.
Let AB finish.
Y'all don't like the fact that other teams that Jordan faced had all NBA and all defensive players. That's what y'all don't like.
If you are an all NBA player, you are a top 15 player in the NBA.
Clyde Drexler
for that season. If you are an all defensive selected player, you are a top 10 defensive player for that. No, he wasn't. Magic made no all defensive selections his whole career.
Oh, you talking about all defensive?
Nah,
he made all NBA though.
Okay, wait,
he's one of the best players in the league.
He made 4.
He averaged 13. He averaged 13 assists. He averaged 13 assists last year.
I'm going to tell you what it is because you don't know. I'm going to tell you what it was. In 1991, when the Bulls faced the Lakers, they had 2 all NBA players. That's it. The Bulls had 1 all NBA players and 2 all defensive players. You want to go to the next season against the Trailblazers?
So all NBA is
they don't have to do with that's not great. That's not a great accomplishment. In a 5-game sport, they don't have nothing to do with winning and losing.
An MVP star?
The Bulls had more.
No.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
I'm out at 3 and 2 is fucking more.
Yeah, I think you muted.
92. The Blazers had 1 all NBA player. The Blazers had 1 all NBA player and 1 all defensive player. The Chicago Bulls had 2 all NBA players and 2 all defensive players. More. 93. The Suns had 1 all NBA player, 1 all defensive player.
Hey, Johnny, can you pull up the numbers for the 93 Suns in the finals?
The Chicago Bulls had 2 all NBA players and 3 all defensive players. More.
Hey, Michael Jordan played the Bad Boys in 91. He played the Bad Boys in 91.
1996, the Chicago Bulls plays against the Supersonics. They have 1 all defensive players, 2 all NBA players. The Bulls have 2 all NBA players and 3 all defensive players. That is more.
All NBA is more recognized than if we're being real.
The thing is, your name is.
That didn't stop the Bulls. That didn't make the Bulls win. I don't want to hear that, man.
If we go to 19,
it ain't about what you. It ain't about the win. It's about what you do on the floor. And they came out. They came to win and they won.
Stockton and Malone swept 4 All-Stars twice.
I didn't say All-Star.
Or they beat the brakes off 4 All-Stars twice.
I'm not talking about a player that gets voted to play an exhibition game in the midseason. I'm talking about players who were the best players for the season.
And that's all NBA.
That's what I'm talking about too.
No, you said All-Star. That's an exhibition game they play in the midseason where fans vote for that.
They got recognized.
They got recognized as being the best in the league. Right? What are we talking about? Fans vote on All NBA as well.
No, they don't.
Fans don't.
They don't.
No, that's the media.
Devontae,
my thing is then that's the case.
Smack me in my head then.
So high and mighty.
I'll take that.
See, look, y'all
no, you're right. Y'all right.
Can't handle it. Like I said, all defensive.
But it's still media though.
All
with your fans.
Don't feel exposed. He didn't expose you. You just made a mistake.
Nah, because the media are fans as well. Ramona Shelburne came out and said she votes based off narrative.
Defensive selections to a high standard. So that says about someone who
media are fans.
Wait. Well, hold on. Well, show other teams. Hold on. Let's get something clear here. There was only 2 times in the whole. It's not that many times where you had multiple all defensive players on one team.
You did.
Had it twice.
And that's only 10 players total in the league.
We're not discounting that. That's fact.
We're
not discounting that. That's fact.
Listen, I have been.
Let's stop downplaying All NBA though.
I have been killing your argument about competition and help so bad that y'all won't even let me finish how much help Jordan had.
Okay, let me talk about the 93 Suns competition.
Right.
Let me talk about the competition. Let me talk about the 93 Suns. Let's talk about the 93 Suns in the NBA Finals.
Let Bakari finish, man. Let Bakari finish.
Listen, unless you're bringing up accolades, because don't bring up stats, because you can't understand stats. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why you can't understand stats. Because Scottie Pippen averaged more points than anybody else on the Suns besides Charles Barkley. So what are you gonna bring me about what the Suns were doing when you have Scottie Pippen?
Listen to what I'm finna tell you. Can I talk?
Huh? No, because you ain't let me talk.
I can't. I can't.
Let him finish, man. Let him finish.
You ain't let me finish.
He gonna give you the floor. He been fair.
Until you guys can prove to me. Listen, until you guys can prove to me that the All NBA and the All Defensive team, until you guys can show me something that trumps that to show how good a player has been for that season, then there's nothing you can say. Those are the best things that we can use. That means you were the best player of that year. You want to bring
Jordan
up
had 19 total selections of all NBA and all defensive teams.
Okay, so and how much does LeBron? Oh wait, and how much does LeBron have?
He don't have that many as many all selections.
He got 6. Not many players got 6.
And like I said, you only say LeBron.
Not many motherfuckers got 6.
It's more
LeBron has 18 All NBAs and 6 All Defensives. That's 24. Jordan has 11 All NBAs and 9 things. That's 20. That's it. Jordan has 20. Huh? He doesn't have more than LeBron. Jordan has 11 All NBAs and only 9 All Defensive selections. Okay. That's 20. LeBron has 18 All NBAs and 6 All Defensive. That's 24.
But your argument is defensive selections, wasn't it not?
No. I said.
Wasn't you saying there's 3 times?
That's what I thought it was.
Had all defensive
I said. Listen.
That's what I thought it was. All defensive teammates or whatever.
Okay, so let's go this. If we go to the 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers, they have an All NBA player in LeBron. That's it. But they go
all defensive. Larry Hughes.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't all defensive.
That year. Okay, he wasn't that year, but he has historically been though.
All right. Go on here.
Now you keep saying y'all won't even let me finish. That's how I keep proving it to y'all. That's what I'm saying. That's why I call myself the exposer. I did not want to do this today.
Go ahead.
Nah, this is my fault, bro.
I did not want to do this today. I really wanted to give y'all a floor and represent Michael Jordan and represent basketball too. But y'all started with
do your thing, man.
Y'all started with lies. Okay. Okay. So 2007 Cavaliers had 1 All NBA player. That's it. They played against a team. They played against a team that had 1 All NBA player and 2 All Defensive players. That's fact.
That East was horrible.
That's
hey.
Oh, here you go with the Heat.
Now talk about the 93
Everybody spit facts here.
See? Okay. Now, if we go to the 2011 team, right? That's the only time you can say LeBron James had a teammate and everything because he was All NBA, All Defensive selected, and Dwayne Wade was All NBA, and the Dallas Mavericks only had 1 All Defensive player and an All NBA player. So it's 2-3 the Heat. The Heat lost that series. LeBron get killed for that to this day. If we go to 2012, same shit. LeBron has the same amount, but you have 2 All NBA players plus an All Defensive player and that's with
and the 6th man of the year.
And they have the OKC guy, right? Then if we go to 2013 with the Spurs, you have the same thing: 2 All NBA players and an All Defensive selected player. And then if you go to Kawhi, it's the same thing. Kawhi becomes no, he's not there yet. But the next year, Kawhi Leonard makes All Defensive selection, and they still have Tim Duncan. And Dwayne Wade doesn't make an All NBA team on that selection. So it's LeBron James by himself as an All NBA and All Defensive player versus Kawhi Leonard and Tim Duncan, who both made All NBA and All Defensive selection. So every time LeBron played against somebody, he was playing against one of the best players and multiple players. It wasn't just like Jordan, who's facing one good guy and another guy here, but he has Scottie.
That's a lie.
Thank you.
That's a lie.
So I have a question.
Let me talk about the 93 Suns. Let me talk about the 93 Suns.
How great was Dwayne Wade when LeBron James teamed up with him?
He was first team on NBA before he got there.
Was he top 5 players in the league?
Yes.
Dwayne Wade when LeBron James teamed up with him.
Yes, he was top
5 players in the thing. The thought of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade teaming up together was crazy back then. Come on, man.
2 years prior, he led the league in scoring.
Can I get my point off? Can I get my point off?
Go ahead.
Okay. You said the Bulls didn't play nobody. Let's look at the Suns in the finals.
Oh wait, stop. I didn't say they didn't play nobody.
He's going by defensive accolades.
No, I'm telling
you. That's why I say this. That's why I say it's bogus. I'm going to tell you why it's bogus.
I said Jordan had more help. He had more help.
I agree with that. I cannot agree with that because look.
To say.
Listen to why I'm saying that's not true. Listen why I'm going with this. Okay, Charles Barkley averaged 17.3 points. Okay, y'all said Kevin Johnson averaged 17.2. Y'all said Darren Warley wasn't that good. Okay, in the finals he averaged 17.2. Richard Dumas averaged 15.8. Is that not help or not? Is that help or not? And they had the best record in the league. How can they not get over the top?
You can't use production. You got to use
And
the
then
same.
they had
You got to
7
use the
players
media
averaging a
award.
double digit.
I mean, come on, man. They could have won.
Let me
Look
ask
at
you a
Game
question.
6. They had Game 6 in the bag.
How much help is that if they had less points in the Bulls?
They were winning the game, and then they lost only 3-point shot. They was up most of the game. If you look at that, if you look at Game 6,
Devontae, you've been patient enough. Devontae, you've been patient enough. Devontae, you've been patient enough, please, because you've been the most objective person here. Please. Am I wrong about what I'm talking about with competition?
how is it the difference? And okay, Charles Barkley was MVP that year though.
Okay, and that's what we keep.
So don't sit back and act like they couldn't win. Don't act like they were just outmatched by the Bulls, man. Just because they had another choice.
Win. All we're telling you is that the Bulls had more help. The Bulls had a better roster. They were the better team.
Man, they could have won.
Well,
I don't care about the better roster.
Hey, Miami
They would have better roster lose all the time. Man, I'm saying they had to win one time.
According to that,
I don't want to hear that, man.
the Suns had 7 players averaging double figures compared to the Bulls had 4.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me interject. Please let me interject. I keep telling y'all, in the 90s, it's all about the teams who could defend. Okay? It was all
They fault that they okay. I'm gonna
That's what it's always been about, Ant. Come on, man.
They can play defense.
defending and rebounding is all been a go look up the teams. Wait,
listen.
go look up the teams that played at a higher pace and scored all the points. They were not in the final 4 teams when it came down to it in the playoffs. Go look at Run
Okay,
Team.
well, they should have been working on their defense then. They should have been working on their defense.
Hold on. Run TMC averaged them 120 points per game at one point together. When did you ever see them anywhere in the finals? Why?
It's always been about who can get the most stops as a defense.
So I don't want to hear that crap
Which
about
one of them won MVP? Charles Barkley was MVP.
Exposing the fact that you don't know what was going on back at the time during that era. Okay?
I know exactly what was going on.
How you said
how they could have won. They could have won the series. I don't care what you say. They had the best record in the NBA, and they had Game 6 in the bag. They just didn't win.
For that particular time, but that doesn't mean that they were a great team. If you compare them to all other, you can compare them to teams that went.
They weren't a great team because they didn't win, man.
Of course, but they didn't have what the Bulls had. That is the argument we're making. That's the
what
argument
points they scored. That's all I'm telling you.
Got on
you want to bring up points per game scored. It don't matter. They had less points than Chicago, so that means Chicago had.
My point is they could have won. That's my point.
Based on what? Based
anybody can win.
You said they could have won. What?
Okay, your man just said anybody can win. So
no, but we're talking about who had more help. Who had more help?
What you saying? You saying
who has more help?
He had help, man.
He has more help.
He had
help.
Come on, man.
Barkley had help.
They had help.
You break down.
Everybody had help.
Charles Barkley had help.
Okay, 2 years prior to that, they got put on the first round without him.
He had more help. His help did what they were supposed to do because they was allowed to do what they were supposed to do. They didn't have someone averaging the most points, the most rebounds, the most assists, trying to do everything. That was the issue. You don't win when you got one player doing everything.
Top-notch help. It wasn't guys. It wasn't blue-collar guys. You know what I'm saying? Pippen was a
Bill Clark right top-notch help.
Hold on. Hear me out. Pippen, and I can pull this up. It was in I forget what the All-Star game when Jordan came back. Bob Costas said, "I'm standing next to the 2 greatest players in the NBA right now, but Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen." But at one time, Scottie Pippen was deemed as the 2nd greatest player in the league at the time. Okay. Now I know y'all probably say no, but we got it on record with the boy in the All-Star game statement.
I'm a Pippen guy. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
And not only that, Scottie Pippen is the best small forward of the 90s. There is no small forward y'all can name that played in the 90s that got more all-defensive selections or all NBA selections. Okay, and that was then Scottie Pippen in that whole decade. Nobody can name one.
Y'all said somebody here said
Charles Barkley was the 2nd player in the
league.
league.
Somebody here said Dwayne Wade was top 5 in 2009 or 2010 after the way he was going to join LeBron. He was not better than Dirk Nowitzki. He was not better than LeBron. He was not better than Kobe. He was not better than Tim Duncan. He was not better than who's the other player I'm thinking about right now in that era? Kevin Garnett.
I'm gonna say you throw KG in there.
You know what I'm saying? Now listen, Dwayne Wade was getting knocked out in the first round. He didn't do nothing since the 2006 season. Y'all bringing up stats. The same stats y'all say people just have because they don't play defense in today's era. Right?
They don't.
So LeBron doing all this great stuff is because of stats. And then when it comes to Dwayne Wade and Kyrie Irving, it's not because of stats, because they're great players and they're better than Scottie Pippen. Right? All these things that y'all bring up, bro. Scottie Pippen has 7 All-NBA selections in the 90s, which is top 5, right? He has the most all-defensive selections in the 90s, Scottie Pippen was one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball, and nobody else in the 90s had anyone close to that to help them. Not Charles Barkley, not Karl Malone,
that's not the
Johnson, none of those guys. None of them had that.
To compliment the best player in the league.
You know whose fault that was? You know whose fault that was?
Players didn't work hard enough.
Jerry Krause's fault, because Jerry Krause was so brilliant that he was able to build 2 separate 3-peat championship teams.
Yep.
Let's go to the Celtics. He wasn't Bill Russell. He was on the Celtics while they won the championship.
Baby superstar quit.
That only team.
The championship team.
I want to hear this shit, man.
Yeah,
Jerry
that's
Krause
what I want to talk about.
Jerry Krause built
2 championship team. And his
he did that. They trying to not give the players and coach the credit. They just want to give it to Jerry Krause.
No, Jerry Krause was so smart. He was so smart. He gave Scottie Pippen one of the worst deals in NBA history that they even had to change the rules to make sure players never got jerked like that ever again.
There's no
denying. And they told Scottie not to sign that shit too.
Scottie
they literally told Scottie not to sign that shit.
Yeah, they did tell Scottie not to sign it.
Bro, you will get more money after this season if you do not sign this contract, bro. Yeah.
They asked.
He kind of had to do it though, man, because he was in a bad situation. He had no choice.
$18 million in 1991 was a lot of money, fellas. Stop it, Scottie Pippen. Listen,
and
Scottie
35 points in
Scottie Pippen.
He could have got more than that though.
5 years.
They told him not to sign it
more though.
Regardless of what you say, they said not to sign it.
Jerry Krause didn't say that. Jerry Krause said, "Sign this. This is what you're worth." And sign it now. You sign this now.
There's more than one owner though.
No, they had a collective bargaining agreement coming in 92, and he told them, you do not know what's going to happen there. Take your money now. And Scottie Pippen, under the way he came up in his background, okay, y'all know
his family, his father was paralyzed, I believe.
Okay, all right. So
let me ask you this though.
He had
stop. We was able to get all kind of sympathy from Michael Jordan. We had all kinds of
calm down, man.
No, because y'all again, we brought past our time. Listen, y'all had all kind of sympathy for Michael Jordan quitting twice. Now y'all
I don't.
Nobody said that.
He fucked up his goat debate.
We've gone long enough. You guys know how I talk. We've gone long enough. We've been long enough. Devontae, please end the show by letting us know what you think about what's this whole conversation go. Please, brother. You've been very quiet and very patient. Please, brother. We'll get up out of here.
Johnny, I completely agree with you. What you just said. Jordan never played against a great team in the finals. You know, he played like these one-hit wonder type teams.
Stop that shit, man.
Go ahead, Devontae. Keep going.
Let Devontae go, bro. Let him say what he got to say.
He played against these one-hit wonder teams. They was good that particular year, except for Utah. They were only good that particular year.
Yeah, get right.
They didn't do nothing after that.
Please.
Get
right, please.
Twice in 3 years.
So why did Houston didn't make the finals after they made it twice and won? I mean,
because
Utah whooped their ass.
No, because they traded everybody for Charles Barkley. They got rid of Vernon Maxwell. They got rid of Sam Cassell.
And
they
that's
got
the
rid of a bunch
Bulls'
of players. That's not the Bulls'
and they
fault.
lost.
Nobody says
to
it's
Utah.
not the Bulls' fault. But the point that's being made is that y'all don't understand how great Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen combination is. No matter what other teams were doing, that combination was that dominant.
They still could have lost, man.
No, they
did. Said, man, the Bulls gonna run away with this. Ain't nobody gonna have a chance.
Orlando, they lost to Orlando.
Lose in '95 to a team that had 2 All-NBA players. Okay.
Let's not make no excuses for Jordan either.
Nobody's gonna make excuses. They lost to Shaq and Penny, who had the best record in the NBA. We ain't knocking them for that. That was a good team.
Thank you.
Here goes my proof again. The Orlando Magic had 2 All-NBA players and an All-Defensive selected player. That's 3. The Bulls didn't have that. They only had 2. They had an All-Defensive player and an All-NBA player. That's it. And Michael Jordan, like I said, came off of his retirement. So that's
and they lost because they played. But they lost because the Magic played better.
And then after that season, Michael Jordan said to himself, I can't win with this roster. I'm going to go get somebody else. And he went recruiting all summer.
That's just for now on. We're going to go by all defensive selections and all NBAs instead of production.
He just wanted a rebounder.
No.
I on that list for Hall of Famers.
But production,
some of them don't even have
production don't matter when I tell you Bradley Beal has 30 points per game in the season. But what does that matter if he's not all NBA?
What does that matter when they do?
I mean, you guys talk about scoring titles in one season like it's the holy grail. But when we talk about the best players in the season, it doesn't matter anymore.
See, because the scoring title is something you did. A selection
something you get in a season, right?
Media award. It's a media award.
How productive was that 30?
Because finals MVPs and anything else, that's a media award. Is it not? I think scoring the ball is something you have to do yourself. You have to assist. You have to steal a ball. There's no one voting saying, at the end of the night, with your 5 assists, that's more than the person with 7.
But being the best scorer in the league don't mean you're the best player in the league. That's what you don't understand. That's what y'all don't want to understand. Being the top scorer in the NBA does not mean you're the best player in the league.
So the top scorer and the
but when you win first team on NBA, first team on defense, and finals MVP while winning scoring title,
that's
you
what
are.
I'm saying. It's not what you did, it's how you did it. This man did. He was led the league in steals. He led.
Is that his fault for nobody else catching up to him?
Team first.
No one's saying Jordan's not great.
Because if I just say you what he did, you're gonna say
Pippen is not great.
His thing.
No, I say Pippen is great. I never said that. I've never said that. I would never say that, Brandon.
Scottie Pippen has all NBAs, all defensive selections, just like Jordan does. And he had that while he was playing with Michael Jordan. That's what you failed to realize.
I gotta pee.
They was top 2 in the league. Top 5.
Bro, listen.
They had a better squad.
That's why I did the first 4 years, because that's before Pippen got to his prime, and that's before LeBron started getting all his help. If you look at what they did, they're pretty much even. It's just Jordan had a little bit more.
LeBron been had all that.
But
LeBron got to the finals without all NBA, all-star, all defensive player, or Hall of Famer in 07, 4 years removed from high school.
Are you talking about the same year?
They were top 5 defense.
Okay, and now the same way you said.
Hold on, let Greg go.
Who did he beat? What does that mean? Hold on, wait. What does it mean? Top 5 defense mean? What does that mean? To explain it to us.
What does it mean? It means you're the best defensive teams in the NBA. And you got LeBron James, and you got these other players, and they got to the finals. They beat the Pistons.
So the Chicago Bulls in 1988 had the league MVP, scoring titles, steal titles, #1 defense, all that other stuff. Why did Jordan make it to the finals?
They didn't get it done. They got their ass whooped by the fucking Pistons.
What do you mean?
Again. So now we talking about competition, right? You see what I'm saying?
No, we talking about facts. They just got their ass whooped.
Facts. He just brought up that the Cleveland Cavaliers had the #5 defense in 2007. I just showed him how the Chicago Bulls had the #1 defense in 1988. Not only that, Michael Jordan was the best player, like Craig said. He did everything.
And I just said, when you do everything,
no, you making excuses for it. I'm not making excuses for Jordan. I say no. You said LeBron didn't have no help.
No,
you said LeBron didn't have no help, man. I didn't say Jordan didn't have no help. I said they lost to a 15.
Danny Boobie Gibson is not help. Varejao is not help.
He was helping Game 7.
Why?
He was helping Game 7 when they beat the Pistons.
Because
he was helping Game 7 when they beat the Pistons.
Because they don't become all NBA players. They don't become all.
You don't have to.
Players. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Devontae, you're not going to come on my show and act like all NBA and all defensive selections don't matter. It matters.
My thing, it does because it does. Yeah. Also, it depends on who you play well with.
Biases. It depends on your biases.
Just because you're Hall of Fame doesn't mean you play well together, bro.
It hurts your heart that you've been watching this whole show.
It doesn't hurt my heart.
You how much LeBron
you said facts this whole time, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody has stated facts this whole time.
So by the true standards, by true NBA
fans,
listen, as NBA fans, as true NBA fans, we understand all NBA and all defensive selection is the best way to determine how great a player has been for a season. It's the only way. You guys have not proved to me anything that is better than all NBA and all defensive selections. You have not yet proved that. So
hey, we gonna be able to do it.
At the same time,
if we're gonna talk about having help and facing teams, Michael Jordan never faced a team that had 3 all NBA players on the
LeBron said Varejao was one of his best teammates he ever had.
Because LeBron James is a great leader and a teammate. That's what you say. You don't be like Jordan and tell him don't feed him on the plane.
Because he played well with LeBron. What are we talking about? Come on, fam. He played well with man.
That's called great leadership. That's called great leadership. Matter of fact, remember I was telling you about the
That's called being able to fit and play well with LeBron. That's what that's called.
When LeBron signed with the Miami Heat, he told Pat Riley, you must bring in Big Z. And he did.
You must bring in what?
You must bring in Big Z.
Must bring in Big Z. Cool.
Big Z must come with me also. He's a part of the package deal. That's called player camaraderie. That's called Jordan never did that. Jordan didn't tell Scottie Pippen, hey, you know what? They are doing you dirty. You can take this year off. I got this, brother. Go get your money. You know what he told him? You're being selfish. Let's run this.
You're being selfish because they told you not to sign a deal and you signed it anyway. That's not Jordan's fault. That's nobody's fault, but Scottie Pippen's fault.
Scottie Pippen did not have to play 1998. He chose to play because Michael Jordan begged him to.
Right.
Okay,
cool.
So that's not okay.
I'm begging you to play because you signed a bullshit ass deal and you're mad at the front office for whatever reason. They told you not to sign the deal.
He can blame Scottie Pippen for making a mistake, but Michael Jordan retiring twice is sympathy. We have to say, oh, he lost.
No, that's not sympathy. Hell no.
He lost Scottie
Pippen. He shouldn't have retired twice. They might have had 8 championships. They would have lost in 99, though. I'm still gonna say they would have lost in 99. They might have had 8 championships. They might have got beat by the Rockets in them 2 years. I don't know.
A little bit out of hand now. Come on.
No, I'm just saying, like that's what I'm saying.
No, it ain't out of hand, man. I'm having fun. I'm having fun, bro.
LeBron James has been shysted his whole career for being drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the worst franchises in NBA history, one of the worst sports towns in NBA history.
You ain't saying nothing wrong.
No, okay, so
my argument is y'all keep saying the league is so much better except for LeBron teammates. It's like his teammates is the only ones that the
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Craig. Talk that shit now.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why, because y'all not listening, y'all not paying attention, and I'm keeping exposing y'all.
I am. Nobody said nothing wrong.
When was the last time the Boston Celtics made the finals before 2008?
Before 2008, shit. The 80s.
Ooh, that was a good
the 80s
stretch. That was a good.
Yeah, we knew that. That's why I knew you, Johnny. I don't even have to answer that. You know that.
So wait. So listen, y'all say tough competition. They went and got KG and Ray Allen to go help Paul Pierce. All right.
Yeah, and LeBron just beat the Pistons team the year before that. So that's why I don't give him no sense.
Orlando, that same season, went and got Rashard Lewis from that same Supersonics team that everybody knew was dumping their roster. Why couldn't Cavaliers go get Rashard Lewis to help LeBron James and shoot some threes?
They went and got Antoine Jameson, who used to get buckets. Come on now, don't look like that.
That was
don't look like that. Rashard Lewis and Antoine Jameson were damn near on the same level. Come on, man. Let's be real about that.
2009 is when they got him.
Devontae, pay attention. Don't just talk out of your ass, because that's all you're doing right now, brother. Stop it. Listen to what I'm telling you. In 2008, the Orlando Magic went and got Rashard Lewis and added that to help Dwight Howard, to help the team. They went and got Hedo Turkoglu. There was teams in the. I'm explaining to y'all. There were teams in the NBA in the Eastern Conference getting better by the year. Mm-hmm. The Knicks went and got Carmelo Anthony. Like y'all not.
That was 2010.
Which I hated because we gave the whole damn farm for that.
So I'm showing y'all that in the same era that LeBron James was showing everybody he's one of the greatest players in the league at that time. He just took the Cleveland Cavaliers to a finals. He just beat a Detroit team that had a bunch of stars on it. He's playing his best.
So why could he beat the Spurs? So why could they beat the Spurs?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He beat us.
Why could they beat the Spurs? See that gasoline?
Thank you.
The Spurs are better than Detroit.
You're making my point.
The Spurs were better than Detroit.
You're making my point.
3 first-ballot Hall of Famers in their prime.
He beat a great Detroit team. Why he can't do it? I'm holding up to a standard now.
Like I said, they had 3 first-ballot Hall of Famers in their prime. Of course, they're going to win. That's why Will Chamberlain didn't win a lot because he was playing versus better teams.
Come on, man. LeBron played terribly in the finals, man. I don't want to hear it.
Okay,
they had a chance to make a series, man. I don't want to hear it.
That 1 year out of 20, he played 1 year out of 10 finals. He played bad. Okay, we get that, but he's going up against better teams all the time.
That's what y'all don't want to.
Bulls went up. Bulls had a better team all the time.
Put up the scores for all 4 games. and tell me what they got beat
I
by
get
20
that,
or
bro.
not.
Like, I get
Okay.
all
Now, you cannot say that Michael Jordan went up against a better team and won. You just cannot say that.
You can't.
Why? Because the
Brandon,
team
I
didn't
got a
have Michael
question.
Hey, man,
Jordan.
if he lost,
I'm holding LeBron to a greater
I
standard.
don't care how you try to slice it up, man. He don't play
Like,
else.
how can the greatest player of all time not be favored on any team he in the finals, no matter who's he playing against? That's
Because
my
they
thing.
had better
Talk
teams.
it, Craig.
That's
Talk
why.
that
You
shit,
don't
Craig.
give them.
If you're the
Talk
best
that shit,
player,
Craig.
Dallas
so
is
you
better
gonna
than Miami.
make it to the
Dallas
finals.
is better than
The
Miami.
Chicago Bulls were not the best team because they had Michael Jordan. It's because they had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all these other players. If you take away the other players, Michael Jordan doesn't make the Bulls the best team.
If that's the case,
Michael
Michael
Jordan-
Jordan would have had at least 10 titles.
Michael Jordan
If
made that conversation indisputable.
Shit. Like, that's what y'all fail to realize. Y'all act like Michael Jordan made the Bulls the best team. No, the Bulls were the best team with Michael Jordan on it.
Michael
Like,
Jordan
what
averaged
do you-
37
there's a
points in the
difference,
season
yo.
and didn't even have
And they
Say
made
the same thing twice.
That's how much impact Jordan got, right?
But that's the same
Look
thing.
at 94, 95 before Jordan got back. They struggled. So they did.
95, 96. So, no, yeah, 94, 95. You're right. 95,
That's all I'm
Hey,
saying.
okay, hold up.
It was apparent that they needed Jordan.
LeBron
in
the
94.
man now. LeBron the man.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna say that. LeBron the man, bro.
And Scottie didn't
All right,
do
all right,
that,
guys.
bro.
Go ahead and let Anthony talk.
Let me say what I got.
LeBron that nigga, bro.
Okay, I'm not because I ain't.
No one's disputing, but y'all acting like
When
this,
y'all
y'all
say
just
go
like-
look up that season where they were struggling in Jordan before Jordan came back. The only reason why they struggled is because they didn't have Horace Grant. Okay,
Thank you.
Horace Grant was a big,
all defensive player.
Exactly. Horace Grant was a big part of what they did.
Okay, so I guess that's why that's part of why the Magic beat the Bulls too, huh?
Wait, let me finish.
Yes, I just said that's why they beat the Bulls. I did not just say that.
All right, let Ant finish.
Stop calling, man. Stop getting mad, man. You ain't scared of nobody.
Let Ant
When they
finish.
played Orlando Magic, when the Chicago Bulls played Orlando Magic, guess who led the Chicago Bulls in rebounds?
Scottie Pippen.
Thank you. A small forward. Not a power forward, not a center, a small forward. So guess what they went and did the next year? They went and got Dennis Rodman.
Because Jordan just wanted a rebounder.
Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame rebounder.
He really wanted Jason Williams. To be real, they couldn't get Jason Williams, so they went and got better.
Then we got who? Wait, say it again.
Jordan really wanted to play with Jason Williams of the New Jersey Nets because he needed a rebounder. But they did one better and when it got Dennis Rodman.
No, Durante. So are you telling us that Michael Jordan rather have Jason Williams than Dennis Rodman?
No, he just said he wanted him. He didn't say he'd rather have
needed a rebounder. That's all I'm saying. He just needed a rebounder.
Okay, wait, stop.
Oh, he just said he wanted a rebound. He didn't say he wanted him over Dennis Rodman. He just said he wanted a rebounder.
He wanted a rebounder. That's fact. He has said that during that time he wanted a rebounder. He went and met at a club with Jason Williams.
Okay, well, stop right there.
Sign with us and you'll get you.
Thank you. That's all he wanted was a rebounder. Jerry Krause did his thing.
Okay, hold on. How many times does LeBron get abused for saying, "Oh, he's going to play with his friends," right? But
I get what you're saying, bro. Like I said, nobody here has said nothing wrong, bro. Nobody here said nothing wrong.
Rodman was giving him nightmares.
Was who giving who nightmares?
You gonna ask that man to join your team? That's like
he didn't ask him to join. That was Jerry Krause and the boys. He wanted Jason Williams. He went and met with Jason Williams.
Listen, Michael Jordan had a 1995 dome of basketball built for him. He invited all kind of players to come play in the secret little dome.
Right, during the time he was shooting Space Jam. I know that.
And Dennis Rodman was one of the players that he invited there. If you guys literally sit there, Michael Jordan did not talk to Dennis Rodman.
He invited everybody.
Okay, and listen, and after that, after spending weeks with Michael Jordan, he went to the San Antonio Spurs and said, "I want to trade." Then the Bulls get a note that they can get Dennis Rodman, and now all of a sudden, Michael Jordan, Scottie
and guess what Jordan said?
Phil Jackson.
I don't have no problem with y'all signing Dennis Rodman.
No, they're all at Jerry Krause's house.
He was already a two-time champion.
All right, come on, man. Let me talk.
They all went to Jerry Krause's house. They all went to Jerry Krause's house to convince Jerry Krause to allow them to put Dennis Rodman on the roster.
Who went to
Yeah,
Jerry
he
Krause?
got Dennis Rodman. That's the same thing as LeBron playing in the Olympics with Chris Bosh and Wade and decided to join up.
Wait. Hold on. What did you say?
The only difference is they had to figure out how to get the ball in there.
No, that was
Thank you.
Wait.
That was false.
You said who convinced Jerry Krause?
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson showed up to Jerry Krause's house to meet up with Dennis Rodman to explain to them that we want Dennis Rodman on the team. Jerry Krause wanted to ensure he wanted Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen to.
So that means the move was already in place.
Hold on, man, McKinney, you interrupting too much, bro. Go ahead.
He wanted to make sure that Dennis Rodman being added to the Chicago Bulls was not going to be a problem. And the only way to ensure that is to get the leaders of your squad, which is Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen together to all sit down and figure out a way to make it done. Once they did that done, they traded Dennis Rodman for Will Perdue, another player that the Chicago Bulls got in the first round during those early years when they would scrub teams. And I mean, again, Jerry Krause's brilliance is always there, but Michael Jordan was recruiting the whole 95 summer, not just for Rodman, for whoever he could add to the Chicago Bulls, whoever it was. He wanted more help. That's it. Simple and plain.
Is that a factual thing?
I will take that.
An assumption.
That is a factual thing. And now,
where does it state that he? God damn, man, you keep on doing this.
Go ahead, Ralph.
I've been doing the whole show.
You, bro. You can go ahead and talk, bro. I'm not interrupting you. Go ahead and talk.
Go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead, Ralph.
So you're saying that for a fact that Jordan recruited Dennis Rodman?
For a fact that Michael Jordan recruited Dennis Rodman.
It's not a fact.
That's
Michael
not
Jordan.
factual.
Oh wait, I'm gonna tell you facts. Michael Jordan told Jason Williams, "I am looking for a rebounder. I need a power forward rebounder."
I said Dennis Rodman now.
Isn't that what Dennis Rodman is?
He did not recruit Dennis Rodman.
I'm telling you, he did because he was looking for a very rebounding power forward.
All right, Ralph, who you think recruited Dennis Rodman? Just Krause?
No, Krause was against it. It was his assistant that convinced him. His assistant convinced him.
Nobody
wanted it. And
Chicago
what
Bulls
happened?
would have no idea that he was available if it wasn't for Michael Jordan hanging out with him.
What happened when it came out of Dennis Rodman's mouth?
I just mad because he got better results in his recruitment than LeBron. That's all. That's what y'all said. That's why I'm upset.
He went to Jerry Krause's house. Jordan, Phil Jackson, and Scottie Pippen was there. Phil said out his mouth that he spoke to Rodman and say, in order for this to work, you have to go to Scottie to apologize. That is word from the people that were actually there. And I'm going to believe that over the speculations that you have.
Okay, again, you guys don't like this word, but you are going to be exposed. Here we go.
That's what we're saying.
Dennis, hold on, wait, because I want to tell you this, because Dennis Rodman said what I said. The same person you're using.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. I gave you the article. They quoted Dennis Rodman in the interview. Dennis Rodman stated that he didn't even care. He was like, I don't even care about this. He was like, when they asked me to go meet up with Jerry Krause, he said he was surprised Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen was even there. He didn't know they were showing up. He didn't know. That was something that Phil Jackson wanted to make sure, because Phil Jackson knew Scottie Pippen had a problem with it. They know Michael Jordan wants to win, but they needed Michael Jordan to show up too. Okay. Nobody's saying that. What we're trying to explain to you guys is that no one discredit Michael Jordan for having.
So we're saying the same thing.
No, you're not. You're saying that LeBron James went and got better players than Jordan did. He did it. He went and got players that, first of all, in 2008, the Wayne Wade said in 2008 they never planned it in the Olympics. He said we wish we were that smart. Quote for quote. I'm gonna send the video and I'm gonna post it. Dwayne
Look
Wade
at
said,
Stephen A.
Don't tell me Stephen A. Smith lying ass.
No. I stopped in my sentence so you can finish. Great. I'm gonna say my statement after you.
Yeah, listen. Dwayne Wade said it specifically. He said that in 2008 they never talked about that. In fact, if you go watch the Olympic thing, what's his name? Dude from Utah, Deron Williams was saying he was.
Who the hell is that?
Huh? You see what I'm saying? So when they got to 2010, what LeBron told them all was, listen, don't sign the max contract, signed the 3-year deal with the player option so that you would be available in 2011. He told Carmelo to sign that same deal. Carmelo didn't. Carmelo didn't listen. Carmelo didn't listen. But Dwayne Wade did.
Because it was supposed to be Wade, Carmelo, and LeBron, not Bosh. Bosh because Carmelo extended in Denver, and then you requested to go to New York.
Exactly. He told him, don't extend it.
I was mad because they traded the whole team for Carmelo. They could have just waited.
Exactly. Yeah, so when 2010 came along, or 2011 came, 2010 for the offseason, we talked about this before, bro. We've had this conversation. LeBron James didn't know where he was going to go. Dwayne Wade didn't know where he wanted to go. He just saw his options. And when they called one another to find out what they were going to do because they're best friends, is when they realized, we can play together. They were actually going to go to New York. If it wasn't for Phil Jackson,
I think it was to Chicago.
Chicago was an option, but they said the same thing y'all all said. They already have a set of.
Because LeBron was talking about playing with Rose in Chicago.
Yeah, he said that, but he was like, we can't fit all because they couldn't get all three players in Chicago. The only teams that could do that were New York, Miami, and I think another team. Those are the only teams that had enough cap space to get an actual big three.
That was in Florida when he made his decision.
That's when Amari Stoudemire went to the Knicks, and to be honest with you, Phil Jackson fumbled the bag. They had LeBron, but he fumbled the bag with LeBron. So LeBron.
All right, guys, we got 2 more minutes left because we gotta get off at 1.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, we gotta get off at 1. So at that time, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade said, well, who can we add as the big three? Because they was like, well, Chris Bosh is down. And they said, well, where can we go? Miami was the only destination. If Cleveland cared about winning so much, why didn't they prepare for the greatest free agent offseason in NBA history? Because they were
everybody had to.
No, everybody wasn't ready. Miami was ready. New York was ready. No, everybody wasn't ready.
Nah, people were setting this up for years. They were trying to get this. Everybody knew.
Name me the
2010, everybody's going to
name me the two other teams. Then name me the 2 other teams besides New York and Miami that had enough cap space to put LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and another All-Star on their team.
Chicago already had All-Stars there.
Yeah, they already had Derrick Rose. All they needed was 2.
Remember, they wanted to add that third player. They wanted to go with that third player. So you had, as a team, be able to afford Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh.
Well, they were. Bakari, can I say this? The Knicks weren't prepared. The Knicks weren't prepared. They already had signed Amari. So they only wanted 2.
They signed Amari after LeBron went to Miami.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Because you're right.
Donnie Walsh.
All right, guys, that's the end of the show. We could continue this next week. We could talk about something different next week because
let's go.
Hey, salute y'all, man. I appreciate the talk. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go overall with just the NBA.
I fool with all y'all, man. Real talk. Y'all, everybody keep it real.